Cervo is one of the most desirable destinations in the world. A beautiful resort on the Costa Smeralda, the glittering coast of northern Sardinia. It's not hard to see why the venue continues to attract sailors every summer to compete on these beautiful blue waters. Holding pride of place in the harbour is the yacht club Costa Smeralda, the prestigious club established by the Aga Khan more than half a century ago. Everything you need to create the perfect regatta, it's right here, which is why the Sailing Champions League loves coming back year after year to Porto Cervo.
Buongiorno and welcome to the Audi Sailing Champions League 2020 here in beautiful Porto Cervo. There are 27 clubs representing some of the best yacht clubs in Europe, and they're here racing to be crowned the champion, the best yacht clubs of the year. I'm Rachele Vitello, I'll be your host today and tomorrow. With me today we have Oliver Schwall and the Commodore of Yacht Club Costa Smeralda, Michael Ilbrook. So the weather in October is tricky, a bit unpredictable, and it proved to be so the first 2 days of racing. So today we're on the third day, and the forecast is actually looking pretty nicer, right? More stable.
Yes, yesterday was tough. We had wind conditions. I think we had gusts up to 35 knots, 32 knots. And it was very gusty because we were behind the mountains in Pavot Bay. And we had to do that because of the waves and be more protected. Today is less wind, but still very, very nice. And we're out just in front. Still not much wave, but I think very, very good conditions. I think not as shifty as it was yesterday. It was pretty tricky. And that's where we are. We are very happy to have you here. It's very important. No, it's very, very important for us. It's actually our first big event of the year. We had to cancel so many big regattas, and therefore it is emotionally important for YCCS, for everybody in the club, and obviously for everybody that is here. And how fortunate are we that we can do this in a safe environment. So
you are actually the newly appointed Commodore of your club. So maybe this is your first event as Commodore.
Well, the first event as Commodore was actually Campionato Sociale.
Okay. So the social regatta, the in-house.
Our in-house regatta, yeah. But no, it is actually, yes, it is. Yeah, it is.
And did you enjoy being on the water yesterday?
Well, it was for me, obviously as a sailor, it's for me the first time to be on a committee boat in my life. So that was pretty interesting. And I saw a lot because I also sailed J70 in the US, and it's very, very interesting to watch them. The boat handling, what these guys do, these people, these crews, was pretty amazing in these conditions. So I learned, and I stayed on the boat, and I said, no, I have to stay. It was a bit long yesterday, I would say. The last hour was kind of tough, but it was good.
So, Oliver, it is already a win to be here in Porto Cervo and actually get this race done, be in this beautiful corner of the world and race. But these teams, for them, it's not enough. They want to win the championship. They want to put their hands on the silver trophy. How is it? 12 more flights and then the super final?
Well, as you said, the teams are taking it really serious. They really appreciate being here, being hosted by the YCCS this year. I mean, a lot of national leagues, none of them were really cancelled, but they were not able to make all the regattas. So for them, it's a big thing to be here. We have to shorten the Champions League series. Usually we have 3 qualifiers. We cut it down to 1. So this is different. Like everything is different in these crazy times, but we are happy to be here. We try to get 18 flights in. Each flight is 4 races. It's demanding, but the weather conditions, as Michael said, is perfect. So we're going to have at least 2 days of fantastic racing here at Costa Smeralda.
Yes, I mean, the whole thing started back in 2013. And who would have thought that club racing would have become so popular? So, I mean, maybe it's because of the revolutionary format. Maybe it's because club competition was always there. We just didn't realize.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we analyzed that in all other sports, football, handball, ice hockey, club against club is a very usual thing. And we realized, why don't we have it in sailing? I mean, it's good to have a sailor on stage and he is representing a club, but we wanted to create a format where the clubs are on the stage and that the sailors can give something back to their club and being proud of being a member. Where they learn sailing probably, and some other things we did right, like very short racing. We changed the crews, so every crew gets the same boats, the same amount of time. So there's no advantage of having better material. So there were a lot of ingredients who make these things so popular, and we are very proud that more than 20 nations already picked it up, including Asia Pacific, Australia. Unfortunately, they can't be here for Corona reasons, but it's a big movement, and we are very happy that we are here and that YCCS was with us from the very first beginning.
Thank you, Oliver, and thank you, Michael. Now it's time for us to get down to business and try to bring the sailing to people's homes and yacht clubs in the world. On day 2 of the Audi Sailing Champions League final, the constantly changing wind conditions were extremely challenging for some of the international teams.
Conditions are really tough. The wind is quite heavy and shifty, and it's really hard and challenging, and especially for us because we are a very light crew.
Currently in the lead is Club Náutico Arrecife from Spain, followed closely by Segel und Motorboot Club Uberlingen from Germany.
We try to arrive to the Final Four, but it's too difficult. There are many people, many teams with a lot of level, but we try to stay there. It's difficult, but we try.
Stay tuned for 2 more days of racing at Yacht Club Costa Smeralda and follow the action live. Welcome back and hello again. It's day 3 of the Audi Sailing Champions League final in Porto Cervo. Me and my co-commentator Michael Elbrook are back in the booth, and we will try to bring you some actions from the water to your homes. Michael, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
You are here as the commodore of the magnificent Yacht Club Costa Smeralda, but I will take advantage of your sailing knowledge and try to understand what's going on the water.
Yeah.
We were chatting just now, saying that you've been actually sailing the J70 in this past 2 years, so you know the boat quite well.
Well, not the past 2 years. The first event we did was actually in February.
Oh, so
Tampa, we did the Midwinter Series, and we chartered a boat, and Pinta was on the water with John Kostecki and 2 great American guys on the boat, Patrick and Chris, and then myself. And I was a bit, I'm honest, I was a bit skeptical because coming from LGS20, it's a bit of a different boat. But I really have to say, after 2 hours being on the boat and practicing, I really started to really enjoy this and I really like this. And there were 54 boats, and it's a great class. And
yes,
it's very competitive.
And we're talking about the J70 because this Sailing Champions League final is actually raced on the J70.
Yeah.
So 7 boats there. We can see them. They have different colors. The teams are actually 27. So they are doing different flights. I think 18 is the total amount of flights. And between one race and the other, they will change, switch boats, and it reminds us a little bit of the match racing. So it's like match racing and fleet racing.
Yeah. It's for me actually it was the first time to see the format, and it's 13 to 15 minutes racing. I know the upwind is the legs are just 500 meters. But it's really, and I thought it was like, okay, this is over. But it's really about boat speed, especially about boat handling. The starts are important, obviously, and it's really, really very, very interesting, very exciting, and the conditions yesterday, oh my God.
Difficult, huh? But just to bring you on the race course, just to update you and tell you where we are at. We are sailing the 8th flight. So race 3 of the 8th flight is just over. The Italian team, Aeronautica Militare, won this last race. This will take them even higher on the general ranking because they were they were third. I think.
No, they are consistently good.
Very consistent. So soon enough, the 4th race of the flight 8 will start. It's 4 races per flight. We have 7 boats, 27 teams total. So, I mean, we will take you through there. It seems like a lot of things to remember, but we will do our best, right, Michael?
we will try to do our very best. And
we see the committee boat. Yesterday you were on the committee boat and you said it was the first time for you as a sailor. Did you understand something?
In my life ever on a committee boat. I was always watching the committee boat from the racer sailor's point of view. No, it was actually very, very interesting. It was very good. And towards the end of the day, it got really cold and it was raining. And so, no, it was good. It was good. You can see a lot because the race course is not, you can with your own eyes, you can see and you can really see the shifts and whether the right is better, the left is better, and how they start. It was really good. And after this, I'm gonna go back on the race committee boat and watch.
How much easier and less stressful is to call the tactics from the committee boat, right?
Well, because on the water it's still a bit different, but you're up high on this catamaran, so it's kind of okay. So it's 1 minute to go.
1 minute to go, yes. So and I think from the flag on the committee boat, the wind is really stable, really strong also.
Well, I think what I heard is, I don't know, but it's about 15 to 17 knots. Am I right?
Looks like it, huh?
It's a good breeze, but here we have not these hills, mountains in front of us, so it should be a bit more stable.
Because it's right outside the marina.
It's just right outside of our marina here. So we'll see.
They
favor, obviously, they favor the boat end. So I think going right is what they all think. You see the gates. The gates right now, they don't play a role. You can hit them if you want to.
Yeah, that's the downwind gate. So they will have to go between the 2 marks when they come back. So they started, I think. Yeah. So the race is on. And like you say, they all went on the committee side. And they're going fast, huh? They're quite nice boats. So in this flight, we can see, so many, 7 boats, like we said, 7 yacht clubs from Europe, because we have actually 13 nations racing here. Oh, somebody is...
See, he took a penalty, so he has to do a 360.
Mm-hmm. Did you see what happened?
No, I didn't see what happened, but now you see, it's pretty interesting. I saw that yesterday too, but obviously it's a different venue here. The left yesterday was always favored.
Mm-hmm.
But here you see that the fleet is basically on these 500 meters already splitting apart. And what I found very interesting to what we do in the general, in the not normal, but in the J70 class rules, you have to, the 2 guys only can sit and hike. And here the driver has to do the main sheet, which in tough conditions like yesterday is a bit difficult to do. So Berlin right now virtually does good. But we'll see whether this is very interesting. We'll see whether the left that just pays off. Boat number 4 is... Yeah, it's the Danish boat, no?
Yeah, the Danish boat is now in 4th place. There are 3 German teams leading. Do you know, Norddeutsche Regatta Verein, the Hamburg Yacht Club, they're among the favorites for this regatta.
Yeah, but they had a tough day yesterday. No? They broke the lifelines and were in the water, and I think for them yesterday was the best race they did. They came from dead last, came back almost winning that race. So you see their boat handling. I saw their boat handling is is good. They are a strong team.
They finished second last year at the final, so I think they want to get back now that the Australian are in here because they couldn't make it for the travel restrictions. What do you see?
Well, what
There
we
was a
see now,
split.
right, the angle of the drone is kind of difficult to see what words, which side is favored. It seems that the left side, I mean, the two boats that we see right now, you see that with your own eyes, are heavily favored. So the left was probably better.
I think you're right. If we
The
look at
left
the
was
tracking, yeah, because they're definitely leading, but somebody else is not so sure and is going far right.
Yeah, sometimes you have to commit to your side, and then you really need to commit because then you just hope for wind shift. And you see also that the wind pressure is not very consistent. And obviously with any race boat, with any sailboat, it's important, but especially also in these boats, the pressure difference of 3 to 4 knots, 3 knots, 2 knots makes a huge difference. So you point higher, you obviously go faster, and then, as we all know, yacht racing, it can change in a second.
Yeah, now we're seeing a little change of pressure here because the crew is actually moving a little bit in.
High card, you see the mainsail flapping, so it means they have a lot of pressure. They are in front of the right boat right now. Do we go to the white mark?
Yes, we go to the white mark.
Do we go to the white mark?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
because it's the green in the tracker, so it's the green. It's the white. So they will go
they
around
need,
this
boat
mark.
6 has right of way. They are in the zone, so boat 4 has to give them room.
All the room. And they did well. So
the left paid, as we say. The left paid.
Very different situation from yesterday.
And for them, for Berlin, they had a tough day, first day, and tough day, second day. And it's really good to see them up front, almost hit the mark there with the boom. So that would have been... So it's really good to see them up front. It's good for their motivation because they were really frustrated yesterday, obviously, because they broke the lifeline. They've had another breakage on the boat because of the big breeze.
And we're seeing them, they're going downwind now for this very fast race. You were right. I mean, they did the upwind in, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, not even. And are these boats fast downwind? What's their favorite?
I don't know how fast we go in 15 to 17 knots.
They're going like 8, 9 knots.
Yeah.
So the Berlin.
Well, I think they're now in this. Obviously, VMG is good. I think they are in the VMG mode. So, like going more down, soaking more down than trying to hit that and surfing. So they don't do that. So it's a.
So they're going for the fastest way.
Yeah, you go for the shortest.
Yeah.
And obviously the shortest and fastest way down. And the thing here in this situation, well, any downwind, it's basically as soon as you get the pressure, you move the boat down. It's very, very important that what we call in English, we call it soaking.
Okay.
Soaking is basically distance made good to the gate. Huh?
Yeah.
So here.
And there they are already at the gate. So the Berliners are leading this fourth race of flight 8, and they are rounding the left mark because they liked it in the first beat.
Yeah, see, because they exactly.
They liked
That's
it.
exactly what they do now.
And the Danish are right behind, so I mean it's still very open
and
for them.
Takes the left gate, no? You go to yellow.
Yes, so there been a change of mark, a change of course. It is very smart, this procedure that they're using for the Sailing Champions League final. 3 mark in the course.
It's
makes it faster, huh?
No, and they can adjust to the changing conditions, wind directions, and that's really good. That's a good mark, Ronnie.
I think you have to with such short races.
And you can't move windward marks. So the 3 marks, that's the thing to do.
Yeah.
I learned so much here in these. How they basically they keep it really, really simple.
They keep it simple. I see lots of rapes as well. It's because we have jury on the water, the umpires.
Yeah.
because their races are so short.
So what we see now is
Yeah,
they
tell
saw
us.
the first two boats, the Berlin boat and the Danish boat, I think. it
Yes,
is.
that's it.
They saw NFO go go
Mhm.
right, sorry. And so what you do now is you just cover. You stay, what the general rule is, the simple rule is you stay between the mark and the competition. That's what you do.
You don't want anybody
that's
else
what they
to.
smartly do now. So they have a big lead,
Yes, because the Hamburger.
these three boats
they're
have
coming.
a big lead.
Yes, they do. It's like we have two different fleet in the same really small race, really fast race, but
It's
such a
amazing,
big
no?
difference.
We'll see if it's just the 500 meter leg or 550 meter leg, and then you have 100 meters.
That's a lot.
big.
Yes.
You see the pressure difference and wind direction is different.
It's probably the ones that went on the right on the first beat.
Yes. No, yeah. The left side was really favored.
Mm-hmm.
So
the ones on the right, they lost a lot.
They lost a lot.
Yeah. I think the wind is still the same as we've seen in the first upwind. And these two boats are fighting, 40 meters between one another. But the Berliner are strong. And I think
and you see on boat number 4,
Mm-hmm.
it has a lot to do with crew weight too.
True.
If you have
Absolutely.
less weight, you have to depressure the mainsail more. It's
okay.
Very simple. And Berlin is. I saw the guys. They're tall and they're probably heavier than the Danish boat, and you can see that they can trim that main a bit better. So I think they would go. My guess would be they would go quicker than
the Danish,
than
the
the
boat,
Danish boat,
the green boat.
But this type of racing, it's not just only about boat speed. It's a lot of boat handling and just tactics. That makes it.
Yeah, I think tactics
So
here is different from the usual because of the short race, because of the only 7 boats in the fleet, and everything matters. Like you're not allowed any small mistakes. Like we've seen. I mean,
Absolutely.
in a normal race, if you start and you go on the wrong side, you have time to come back. Here, not so much, And I think the green boat lost a little bit. And we're going to see the Danish boat very close to the Hamburg boat. See, there they are, very close.
Wow.
And the red
Hamburg,
boat
they
is
have
in
right
the...
of way,
Exactly,
They have
it's
right of
inside.
way, NFO, the boat number 2 has right of way.
Yeah. So they will
So,
probably...
and they can take them. Let's see.
If it was a match race, they would take them out.
And see the difference now? How they roll the
Jennaker?
The head sail, the jib,
Mm-hmm.
quickly.
Oh, the jib, sorry,
and
yeah.
then hoist the Jennaker, quick hoist, and they are to leeward now, so
They're favoring in a favored position.
They are favored now. Wow. Let's see. But it
But the
always
green
depends
is-
with this now. It depends if you get a pressure situation, you just jump forward. So that makes a big difference in these boats.
Yeah. We can see that the Danish know how to handle the boats, but look at the huge distance. The Berlin boat, the purple boat
Well,
is.
they did a very simple thing that they just followed. They had 2 tacks, waiting to the ley line, and
Less maneuvering.
yeah,
They had a simple plan, and sometimes in the boat racing, keep it simple pays.
that's our philosophy always. Keep it simple. Stay in the routine. Make it as simple as possible. Don't make it too complicated. Sailing, yacht racing as such is a complicated sport, and you have to keep it simple.
Yes.
So it's good to see them.
And I've heard many of these guys saying that this is like a marathon. So it is short races, but because there are so many
Oh my
races, because
70
overall
over
it's like
72 races.
72 races. Yes,
They
crazy.
have to do well if they can.
And we are
72
seeing the Berliner actually winning this.
It's very good for them. They had
race.
a very, very tough day. And the Danish,
right behind.
The Danish
Kept the
yeah,
Norddeutsche
that,
Regatta
yes.
Verein in the back.
But for NFV, it's a good result. They had 2 tough races. I talked to them just now before I got into this, and obviously they had 2 guys swimming in the sea yesterday.
Oh,
and
yes,
it was cold,
yes.
and they couldn't change clothing, and that got to them a bit, and therefore they had a tough second part of the day yesterday.
Yes, we spoke to their skipper, who is actually an Australian skipper.
Yeah.
It's David Chapman. He won last year this regatta with the Australian team, and now he's racing with the Norddeutsche Regatta Verein. So we're seeing 4th, 5th, and 6th coming in. That's a fight in the
so
back,
close.
eh?
Now, so if the yellow boat bears away, they'll win this race in front of them. You just have to bear away, and these
They
gonna-
listen
Oh,
to
that's
you,
very
yes.
close. It would be. I saw yesterday too on the race boat, on the committee boat. Sorry, sometimes it's always close, and sometimes would be difficult to call that who was in front.
Yes. And if I'm not mistaken, the yellow boat is the one that took the penalty, so they didn't finish last like it often happens.
Überlingen was, they're from a lake, and the lake sailors in these conditions have an advantage. Although the Swiss have, seriously, the Austrians, they should do well here because of the shifty conditions.
They're used to that.
They are used to that. No?
They're used to that. While if you are a sea sailor, you're more used to the breeze, the thermical breeze, which is stable.
Yeah.
What kind of a sailor are you? What do you like best? Ocean racing, I would say.
No, I'm an up and down guy. I like this format. It's very simple. We always want to be at home at night.
Oh yeah, okay.
Or in
Yeah,
the hotel
yeah.
that we've done so many. I think I've done in my life 9 Fastnet races, and I did the Sydney Hobart.
Enough.
I have my share of long
Of-
distance racing, and therefore I'm really happy
To be in a bed at
to
night.
to have this done sometime in the afternoon. Huh?
Yes.
I
Oh, I'm
like-
asking this. Oh, we see the ranking now. So preliminary result after flight 8. Yes, because now the flight 8 is completed and we can see. So Club Náutica Recife, the Spanish from Canary Islands, they're still leading. They were leading last night. Look, they have a long line of first places.
They are really consistent.
And then we have the WVH. How many points? 5 points behind. So the Spanish
5
are quite
places,
well.
huh?
And Aeronautica Militare keeping their 3rd spot there because they won last race. Then we got the Swiss. The
To see that, huh?
yeah,
From position 3 through 8, 9.
very little points.
Very. So the 14 points
Of the
Spanish.
Spanish are important. Because if we remember the format, tomorrow, at the end of all the flights, the first 4 teams will go ahead for the super final. And even more, I mean, the first one to win 2 races will be crowned the winner. But if you are the first one of the ranking, then you
already
only...
get 1 point.
Yes,
I
you only have to
learned that
win 1.
yesterday, yeah.
So it is important, that first spot there, it's worth a race for tomorrow in the final.
Since we do
So we have to see and what the conditions are like for tomorrow.
But since we still do have 10 flights to go, 10 flights.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's-
Everything could
It's
happen.
still way open.
It's more flights to go than the one we have achieved so far. And
But
look, 27 teams. Amazing, huh? After a season with so few races, few regattas, I mean, we were saying in the interview, it's actually your first international event as Commodore of Yacht Club Costa Smeralda.
yes, it is.
You've been appointed in the beginning of August, but you said you've been coming to this place since the late 70s.
Yeah, we started we participated in the first Sardinia Cup in 1978. And we came here, obviously back then you sailed the boat to your venue of racing. And we came by boat and it was incredible to see the archipelago, Magdalena, etc. It's unbelievable, and the racing was incredibly good because being used to the Admirals Cup and the Solent,
very different.
Very different. And it was for us it was the first time that we can sail in Bermuda shorts and in warm weather and warm. I was a bowman on Pinta, so that was very, very different to sail here, and we've been doing this ever since. And my dad became a member in 1978
of the yacht club, and those were the great years of the Sardinia Cup, which is still an amazing event. But those years, late 70s and 80s, Sardinia Cup was at the top.
It was amazing how quickly Yacht Club Costa Smeralda could establish itself as a top
one
event.
of the leading.
The Sardinia Cup was the event next to the Admirals Cup.
Yeah, it was actually team racing. It is still team racing on different boats, right? You would have your
we
team,
had IOR
national.
racing handicap, and it was different categories of boats, and you had to be in one category. That changed over time.
And you were racing for your nation. So it was actually similar. I mean, not similar, but not too different from this kind of racing. But here, you're actually racing for your club.
That's
so
true.
The competition is even higher, possibly.
That's true. And I always said it. Yacht clubs are made to compete against each other. That's
I think so.
Basically the genetics of a yacht club. So this format of having yacht clubs race against each other is really something very special and comes back to the roots of yacht clubs.
Yes, and we're seeing the countdown has begun. So 1 minute 43 to go to flight 9.
So
and the first race of flight 9. Well, we're seeing lots of acronym for the yacht club, so we have to try and translate this.
We have. Well, I'm getting maybe at the end of this day and tomorrow morning, I get to know this. No, but we have. We'll just look at this the list here. We have the Polish team is in there. They had a tough day yesterday. They had a damage too. Then we have Münchner Yacht Club, which is from Lake Starnberg.
Yeah, we can see them there as well.
Now we can see them.
Oh, we have the Portuguese.
And
it's
then we have
time.
The Swiss are strong today. I think I said before maybe this is going to be a Swiss day. It's going to be a Swiss day, Münchner Yacht Club. Then we have the other Danish team. And then we have another team from Lake Constance.
The Münchner Yacht Club.
Württemberg. No. Münchner Yacht Club is from Lake Starnberg, and Lake Constance is Württembergischer Yacht Club.
I'm amazed of how many German clubs we have, huh?
That's amazing, huh?
Amazing, yeah.
I know. It's great to see so many young sailors in this.
So many young sailors.
It's wonderful to see this.
And look, we're about to start. 15 seconds to go. So what happens here when you're on a sailing boat? Take us through this.
You have to take a breath. You have to choose your position, where a pin end or boat end. You have to do that. You have to stay out of trouble. Stay clean. And have space to your leeward boat. That's very, very important to do that. To have space so you can, that's why sometimes the pin end is fair. But it seems that they go left. Everybody goes left here.
After the first race.
Yes. Obviously they're on their ribs and they see this and they look and obviously they say, well, the left kind of paid in the previous regatta, previous race, so they go that way. You see how boat number 6 gains on the yellow boat, on the number 3 boat, which is the Württembergische Yacht Club.
Yeah. So they are going left, but on the starting line they were quite even. They were spread.
Yeah, they were evenly spread out. Yeah, we saw many races yesterday where they heavily favored the boat end, so it was all congested. See how boat number 6 now pressures number 3 boat, and they fall behind. They're in dirty air now, So I think about, I was just going to say they're just way
They
too,
should be
and they are getting across now. It's going to be tight. Lucky that
And
boat
they don't
number-
have right away. 'Cause
They
they're-
don't have right of way. They're on port tack. So, but they see the left paid again.
Yes,
Seems
it
that the
did.
left does pay, huh?
And this Portuguese team, it's the first time that they're actually racing in the Sailing Champions League final. So
Yeah.
they're sitting midway in the ranking, and so it's good to see them doing well, even though they're all still very close.
Yeah.
The München Yacht Club is second,
Mm-hmm.
and so many yacht clubs from the
Wait a
south of Germany.
Yeah. It's an underestimated place. No? The southern Germans are great sailors.
Great sailors, yes.
Have always been great sailors.
Like the Austrian that we
Gold
see on third
medalists.
place.
But you see how the Portuguese boat, their angle of heel is right. They have good pressure. They stay between, they control this thing now. And they do a really solid job. Huh?
Yes. Don't you always wish to be there when you're racing? In
Well-
front, clean from everybody else,
Yeah.
leading
But
your
you only
race.
learn if you're back in the pack. Huh? Up front,
I like your point of view.
as we always say, the rich get richer. And it's actually, I wouldn't say easy, but it makes it a lot easier. And if you're in the pack, it makes it more difficult, but you become a better sailor. So everybody that's in the back and frustrated, don't be that, because it's the best way to learn this. No? To sail in dirty air and under pressure is where you really learn how to...
Surrounded by your
yes,
competitor.
Yes.
With no option sometimes.
So they do well, huh?
They're doing well, yes. Why is
So-
their main flapping like that?
Well, because obviously it's again pressure, and they want to depressure the boat because its angle of heel is in these boats. I know that, I learned that. It's the same thing in the Melges 20. Is angle of heel is critically important. If you heel too much, the boat simply goes sideways.
Okay.
The boat goes sideways, the foils don't work anymore. So angle of heel is so critical. That's why 3 guys, 3 people, 3 crew are hiking.
Out.
And the driver, the helmsman, needs to trim the main, which is a difficult part. So the guy has a lot on his hands, her
Yes.
hands. So I
Tucking
think
again, they want to defend the left.
We'll have to look at the virtual thing now. They
but
tacked
they
and
are in
no, they are
ley line
laying. They are
possibly,
already
yeah.
laying the mark.
Yeah, there they are. Reaching
So the
for
Danish could, the München Yacht Club too. They are. I went jogging with them. I saw them when I was running this morning. We met each other and had a little chat. It was really nice to talk to these young guys, and it's really good to see them do so well. And the Polish team, better too.
So the Austrian are actually second, or not?
No, the
Now the
Danish.
Danish.
The Danish team.
or
Well, it changes with the virtual thing. Now we have the Portuguese in front.
yeah, that's for sure.
We have the second Danish boat as second, München Yacht Club,
Third,
in the
like we were
gray,
saying.
in the gray spinnaker,
Yes.
and then a bit of a distance. So obviously now we see a fight between the yellow boat and the number
and the
2
yellow
boat.
boat looks like it's sprinting down.
Seriously, I always hate that because it just takes you away from where you want to go. You see that they completely go to the right and lose. But he's rolling him now, so that's good. He's rolling him.
Yeah.
So he
Goal
gained a
achieved.
place. Yeah.
Yes.
He's rolling him. But
This
it's
is what
not
I wanted
over.
to
No,
do.
it is not over. See, they're gaining again. He's to the mark. And then he has the overlap, and so the yellow boat can jibe. So
the red boat can take him
I'm never. You have to protect that, but I'm never a fan of.
of this maneuver.
No.
This tactical
Yeah, sometimes
choice.
you have to do it, but I always hate to do that because you lose so much in these situations.
Because they're actually going
The wrong way.
far.
You basically
Yeah.
You go fast the wrong way.
and you're racing your race.
And yes.
Because you're leaving the rest
Yes.
of the pack going in the
Exactly.
correct way. But we'll see. We'll see
But
if
in
they
yacht
are
racing, it's not what life can be different, and it's not always what you
what you want.
what you want and wish for. It's something you have to live with the stuff. So they jibe, go to
Yeah. So
probably
we've
go. They
seen-
probably hit from looking from the boats. They probably hit the right mark, the right gate. So
You would go right here?
They go right.
Okay.
They go to the right mark.
To
To the right mark to stay on the left side. That's always looking from the boat perspective.
Yes, of course. And this is, I mean, of course, when you have such a nice upwind on the left, you probably want to go there again. They're all closer than the previous race, I have to say.
Yeah. And because it is shifty, it's not over. Huh?
No. The Danish only have 9 meters at the moment to recover to be in the lead.
Yeah, but the Portuguese boat stays with the game, basically, with the game plan, says the left paid, and so we stay left, and the München Yacht Club follows them. They are not in dirty air, so they can do that. They had a good mark rounding, because it's always difficult in mark roundings, to get it so that you don't fall into the dirty air of the leading boat, and they did a good job
not doing it.
So it keeps their options open, and that's the thing we always have to do, is for the tactician, in my case for John Kostecki, to keep, if we keep him the options open, then we'll be fine. Huh? So that's what they did. So
we see
conservative,
guys.
Conservative, not conservative, but a attack to cover the right side. So stay between the mark and the boats. All you guys listening, that's important.
Because we're seeing the blue boat, the Swiss Oberoffen Club. They went right, and they're not too far behind. Do you think they have any chance?
Wait a second.
The blue boat.
Wait, sorry for this.
It's here, the blue boat. Oberoffen.
Yeah.
Oberhofen. Sorry for my German.
Oberhofen.
From Switzerland.
The
much closer than the previous one.
The races we saw, the right side never paid. So I doubt that. But then if you're back, you have to do something. If you just follow, well, then you just follow. So basically then, and that's a risky move to do. But the logic basically tells you I have to do something totally different.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're here to win. So
yes,
and then sometimes it's risky. It sometimes very few times it pays off, but you got to do something different if you're in the back.
It looked like the Portuguese did a nice move to protect their lead.
Yeah.
They just tucked in front of the Danish, and now they're one behind the other, going towards the mark and the ley line. And I think the way I see it now, nothing can happen, right? It's very difficult that something can change at the moment between the top 3 teams.
Between the top 3 teams, but we saw Oberhofen.
Yes, they actually took over the München. How do you say München? Too difficult for me.
Yeah, you have to learn a lot of German words, because there are a lot of German boats in this regatta, which is great. Which is really actually great to see that.
Yeah, it is. It is, and you see the competition between these German clubs is amazing. I think they might be on ley line already. What do you think? We don't have a bigger
top
picture,
mark, but we see the virtual. Yes, they're on ley line.
But they were so confident in tacking that they might have.
No, they're on ley line.
Oh, look at
the
them,
white.
yes.
This is what we talked about. White mark, yellow, and they can always, obviously, for all of you, they can, once you hit the gate, if they change the top mark, they honk.
Yeah, and we'll put the right color.
And then they put the color white, red, or
they will show a flag
yellow up,
with the
and
color
then you
of
know
the
where
mark
to
you have
go.
to round.
Because it's not far to see. It's easy to see that.
So I wouldn't like to be in the Portuguese position at the moment, because we've seen previously the other boat, the behind boat, rolling. Do you think they're close enough to be rolled?
Well, we'll see now what we can see from the photo. This drone picture is much better. We see now that the pressure dropped, the wind pressure dropped.
Okay.
So they are like in a VMG mode. So what you do is you find the edge between, obviously, speed going up and velocity made good. VMG means velocity made good.
Yes.
To the finish line here.
Yeah.
In this case.
So it's like the compromise between.
Are we in the finish line? We're in the. No.
Yeah. Finish line. We're going
Sorry,
to the finish.
I'm losing track here.
Yeah. Too many. Fast.
I am losing track. So, and here also you see one thing is, that's the rule is, On the wave, you can pump. Pump means you pull the main in. You can also do that with the kite. You pump that in. You see how they sit. Weight is critically important. And the Portuguese, I'm really happy to see them do well, is they had their moments yesterday. They had bad races yesterday too, but
they did.
They shined in a couple of races. And you see how they soak the boat, the green boat in the back. They're
now jiving together.
Go to you see the committee boat, and they basically try to go protect it and try to go to the finish line. It's always about where you want to go and protecting your competition. That's all it is. So it seems from this drone perspective that the pressure is, but it's very difficult to see it from here, but it seems it is the same. They'll win this race. So
they look young.
Yeah, and it's what's good with this regatta and this format is you can be back and then you win a race, so it all goes, everybody can have their moment here. See, they're really
cheering
happy
and they're
high fives, and
it might be the first race they win in this competition.
I think so.
We'll see now with the statistics, but I think the
Danish vote, and now how interesting, huh?
Looks like Oberhofen.
I told you. So they're going to the boat, and they're going
very
to the
close though, huh?
Not to the race committee. No, they'll because
win it.
if you would jibe now, you'd lose so much speed. But now you soak, you go. See, they do this. No, they win. They'll beat them.
The Swiss beat.
Yeah.
The Polish.
Great,
actually,
huh? And the Polish, they came back too.
They came back too. Yes.
Good for them.
Pure Munich Yacht Club is in 5th position. They were doing so well.
Yeah, they were doing well. We couldn't see from the from this because they.
But like you say, there are so many races that one not so good race doesn't mean anything. So at the same time, it's important not to make mistakes because it's a fast race.
Yes.
But you have many chances to get back in the other races.
Yeah, it's all about consistency, no?
Yes.
It's all in regattas with many races, it is all about consistency. You don't necessarily have to win all the time, but it is very important to be top 3, not have, because we don't. What's also interesting, I didn't know that, is you don't have a discard.
Oh yes, of course.
You do not have a discard, so you can cancel out a 6th place, or a 7th place. So it's really about that, to be consistent.
So now we're in between races.
Is going to be. Had a long chat this morning when we were having coffee. They have.
Okay, now we're going to show an interview we recorded this morning. It was Chile, and we talked to the Spanish team who was just back from their early morning flight.
Okay.
So let's see that.
It must be.
So Club Nautico Arrecife from Canary Island here at the Sailing Champions League final for the first time. How do you like it? How is it?
Yes, as you said, it is our first time here. We are very happy to be here. It wasn't very well. It was not easy to us to come here because it's a long way from Canary Island and because the virus and everything. But we made it. We are here and we are very happy to be here.
And you are actually leading the series so far. So, I mean, what's the plan? What's your strategy to be on the top 4?
Well, we have to go step by step, and no matter what they say. No, just step by step. We are sailing, I think, very good. And let's see if we get the finals. It's our target.
You're just you're just back from one race out there. Can you tell us what the conditions look like today?
We have a shifty wind, a little less than yesterday, but we enjoy it. It's a very nice wind for us. It's very similar to our wind in Canary Island.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Club Nautico Arrecife, they're in a good position because when you're leading is always nice.
And they're very consistent. They were
consistent.
very, very consistent.
But it's always an uncomfortable position to be leading so early on in the series, don't you think? A bit stressful?
Well, from my experience, it's always good to to go into the last day being second or third boat. Huh? We had many regattas where we went into the last day being first, and then we messed it up. And I remember the America's 20 Worlds, we were going into the day second, and then the leading boat that was consistent leading was had one bad race. The first race was really bad for them, and then the nerves started to, and then they started to think. If you start to think, it's bad. If you look at your results, it's really bad. Never look at results in regattas. Never ever look at results. Just makes your mind go crazy. And so that's always, coming from behind is always good. You saw it yesterday with NFV, with the Norddeutsche Regattaverein, the race where they lost two guys because lifelines broke and they were dead last. They had a fantastic comeback, and they were like, then you're a lose, huh? You can't lose anything. You just do it. Yeah, so nothing to lose. So you saw really from afar, you saw how psychologically they said, just, we don't care anymore. We just do this. And they almost won that race.
It's crazy how the head and the mental attitude is important and plays a role.
It's a mind game.
It's a mind game.
It's a mind game. It is a mind game. So you always have to stay attentive, but you have to stay loose. See, many drivers, you don't know, but you cramp up your hand on the tiller extension, and once you do that, it's over.
Oh gosh.
It's not good. And so one of my little experiences is you have to, and what you do actually in the starting phase, when you go first 100 meters, 200 meters, you have to take a deep breath. You just have to, seriously, it sounds very stupid and very simple.
No, but I want to hear more. So did
take
it happen
deep
to
breath.
You that you had
Oh yeah, we are all nervous. I mean, we're all nervous, and you're all tense. And the worst thing that can happen is if you're tense, if you tense up, you don't feel the boat. Yacht racing is about feeling the balance of the boat.
Yes.
That's what it is about.
It has to flow.
Yeah, it has to flow. And if you cramp up, naturally, it's not. And it takes a lot of practice and a lot of things to be able to do that. And a guy next to you who, John always hits my leg and says, Michael, Mike, take a breath. In the toughest moments, sorry my language, it's a bit shit fight. Sorry my language.
Don't worry.
But then it does, then he basically intensively tells me, just take a deep breath now and just loosen up. And when you loosen up, take a deep breath, it's easier.
It gets better. And John Kostecki would know about being in a tough position.
He knows. Yeah, he knows about tough positions.
He knows about stressful racing.
Yes, he does.
So we're getting ready for the second race.
Yeah, that's a club from
9.
we see from Hamburg. I think it's near Blankenese. Huh?
Okay.
They did really well. Smart. They had sometimes you see smart racing, and they had a race yesterday. When I saw from the committee board, they did a very smart race. So what's the timing now?
It's
Mühlenberger. No, it's the Mühlenberger. It's 1 minute. It's less than a minute.
Where is Mühlenberger?
It's north of Hamburg. I think it's
still,
even part of Hamburg. No,
yeah.
it's not. It's. So what you also see here, what is also important is in these wind conditions, you always want to stay at the line because you want to always stay up front. Coming from behind is because the boats pick up speed really quickly, and
they do.
go fast.
So
he struggled on the pin end, so he basically stopped the boat, the Spanish. But they won so he's early. He's over early.
Oh gosh,
he has to go back to the line.
But he's not alone.
He's not alone, so we'll see. That's going to be interesting.
Looks like the wind picked up a little. Looks like it might be stronger.
Yeah. Well, so now we'll see this. This is actually the leading boat of the regatta. So they are forced to go right now. So we'll see what
how
happens.
that plays. Yes,
The boat number 2 is in a good position, pointing higher, same speed. You see that?
Yes, I see.
Angle of heel good. The boat number 5 is, we'll see how that went. If it does go right, obviously then it's a disadvantage. But the French boat is hoping for the shift to go, the wind shift to go left.
Yeah.
And then they cross. We'll see.
Then they will be in the right spot.
Yes, we'll see what happens.
But now maybe we'll see
But
some.
boat number 2 is pointing a lot higher, increasing the gap. The French boat
Agreed.
is losing that. See that?
Yes.
So
Nice
it
boat
obviously
shot.
also has to do with not only with wind direction and pressure, but it
We
obviously
see
also
now
has
here
to do
what
with
you were saying, that the helmsman is actually
Yes,
also
si-
trimming
yes.
the main, which normally
which is
you
a
have
lot
a
of
person
which, yeah,
to do that.
especially yesterday in these big breezes and when in the big breeze and the puffs, I thought it was they had a difficult job.
Yeah, for
So-
the non-sailing that are watching, for sure not so many, but the main is the engine of the boat.
The main is obviously the sails are the engine of the boat, but the main is critical.
So
But
now
you
we
see
see
that
what you're
you just saw the right shift. So now which is disadvantageous to the
For the French.
boat number 5. You just take both of your hands and move your hands to the right, and you see that is a disadvantage. But it can
is.
change. So the yellow boat is the Italian
The
boat.
Italian,
They
And
are
they're
strong.
attacking now.
They are strong. So
but they're not in the stronger position at the moment.
let's see how that
See, sometimes
is
what
panning out here.
it was a blessing in disguise this time for some of these teams being OCS, because coming back they went right, and in the end it was not a bad choice.
Yeah, exactly.
Blessing
We
in
see
disguise,
that.
huh?
We see that now, huh?
Yeah. I think the
But
red,
obviously
like you said, was in the best position though, because they were in the middle of the fleet, able to choose whether to stay on the left or go on the right. And when the wind turned right, they just went there.
Yeah. So I'm just watching how they. So they are back on track, huh?
Yes.
Wannsee, huh? The Berlin
The
Club,
Berlin
huh?
Club,
The
yes. We've
Berlin
seen them
Club
do
is
well.
back on track.
Yes. Do you have a favorite club in Germany?
No.
You cannot say.
I can't.
You cannot say. But none of these clubs are from your area.
None of these clubs are. Well,
fine.
we said before that I come from an area where basically yacht racing doesn't really come from. I don't want to be unpolite to the Rhineland, to the Cologne area and Düsseldorf and Leverkusen area.
No,
I don't
but
want to be unpolite, but actually sailing happens in the south and happens in the north. So we go to the. Do we go to the white mark? We
yes,
go to the
I
white
think
mark.
We go to the white mark
So
again.
yeah, they Wannsee, they are laying.
have
They are laying it. They are clearly in the lead.
Nice advantage.
Yes.
And
They have right of way now. The Italian boat has right of way.
Yes, they're
Obviously,
good.
they turn the boat heavily.
Yeah, wow.
Huh? Great maneuver.
They
With
almost
speed,
did a
you can obviously
360.
with speed you can do this. If you the higher the speed, the better you can. The foils work, and the better you can turn the boat. Huh?
Oh wow, that was close.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
It's crowded up there.
Yeah, he can.
Were you allowed to do this? That's
Yeah, he
boat
was.
number one.
From my perspective, the umpires say this. From my perspective, what I saw is they were in the zone. They had right of way.
Okay. So it's the first one to put the nose into the
Yes,
right-of-way zone,
yes.
and then they can do whatever.
Yeah.
Which is
Well,
like
it's not
an
what
area
they can do,
around the
but
mark.
in principle, yes.
Yes. Yeah. No,
So
they
you
cannot
create
do
this,
whatever they want.
No,
of course.
you create the overlap and then.
And then you're good to go. So
I think the breeze has picked up.
I think
The
I think
breeze
it
did pick up because they're more in a not in a VMG mode, but in a
wind.
yeah.
And the Berliner are comfortably leading at the moment. Looks like it. They found their speed back. Not speed,
Wow.
but their way they handle their race. Of course, I think the ranking we see on the left is not the actual one, because the red boat is actually leading, and it's followed by the Italian one in the yellow boat. And see. The boat we're seeing. These are the Berliner.
Yeah, Wannsee.
Wannsee. So it's a little lake in Berlin.
Well, little lake. It's a pretty big lake.
Oh,
I
is
would
it?
say.
It's pretty big.
It's not a
Okay.
little lake.
I'm
And there are
sorry.
some very famous sailors coming from the Berlin area and Olympic medalists.
Medalists
sorry,
coming from- yeah.
I mean, we
Yes, I
had our
know.
first Admirals Cup win was Pinter and Sabina, a
With the
Berlin boat, very famous, great guys, very, 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 very good sailors. So it's good they are. See, now we see that they took the left mark. They think favoring the right
Again.
is going right. See that?
Yes, and the Italians are following, and so are the
Berger, the Mühlenberger near Hamburg, ne?
Yeah. Yeah, with on board the president of the German sailing league.
And then what you also see here, boat number 5 took that right mark, and they do that because sometimes if your three boats are ahead of you, you are in dirty air. So even though it's the mark is not, the gate is not that right thing, might not be right, it gives you good pressure because in these boats, it's important to stay out of dirty air because it really slows you down.
Yes. And maybe, sometimes the wind bounces back. So it can, once it goes right, then it might go back left.
Yeah, but we saw yesterday in that other venue, I mean,
In the
the
Pévelo
area
Bay.
in the Pévelo Bay, we saw the whole day the wind was shifting. We had totally different conditions yesterday, but we saw the whole day the wind was shifting to the right. It was almost 40 degrees to the right at the end of the day.
Oh, wow.
So it really, really went that way. I do not know whether it does it today, but this is very clear. Berlin in front, the Italians
Are fighting
clear,
with the Mühlenberger.
conservative. You do that. You stay out of dirty air. You tack. You cover the fleet,
Yeah,
and then Mühlenberg.
they're not far.
No.
And like we said, 72 races, 18 flights. If a second spot in a race, it's a good result.
It's very good.
So
A
the
third
Italians
position
are actually
is very.
fighting to cover that.
Yeah.
No need to be the first one.
No. If you, again, what I learned from yesterday and the day before is you should avoid to have, sorry my language, shitty races.
I think shitty races is
the
in the
fifth and
sailing
sixth.
dictionary.
Yeah, is it
Allowed.
sailing? Can I do that? Sorry, don't.
No, you're allowed. So
don't-
yes, you want to avoid.
Don't be mad at me.
No, you want to
But-
avoid those situations.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's what it actually is.
Yeah, I think so. And what happens normally is like the reach gets richer. So when you're leading, you're actually often extending your lead. And this is what we're seeing here again.
And it seems that the wind conditions are pretty stable, so it's a straightforward thing. See, just now anybody watching the yellow boat, the number 3
and the
boat
and the green, the
is
Italian.
Yes. So they had less pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Boat goes down. Points away from the wind. It's not good. The foils don't work right. So it's interesting. It's changing.
Yeah, because they don't have room for error
Well,
because the
and-
Mühlenberger are right there and are actually
Exactly.
leading at the moment.
It just saw the I think the boat when it was just went out of that what we saw.
Mhm.
They really pointed left. They had to bear away,
Bear away,
and that
yeah.
cost them that position.
Yes.
So we'll see how they do this. They are clearly
We'll
in the
see
lead.
how they do
they'll
the
they'll
rounding.
carry this home for sure. Good maneuver. Kite is up. Roll
Jib
the
is
jib.
rolled.
Really good.
And now we're seeing this, but they're
but
inside.
the Italians have the inside, so they're leading.
They
but
have the
the
right
Mühlenberg would. Jesus, these
They did a
guys
great
are,
job.
They're good. These
Did a
young
great
kids are. These
job.
kids are good. If I call them kids, they're not kids.
They'll be happy to be called kids.
But you see on the white caps on the waves, it seems that they have a lot more pressure now.
Yes. And there will be a fight between these two boats now in the last downwind.
But look at Costa Smeralda, no? Look at
The beautiful.
Wow.
You never get tired of
You
looking at
never get tired of looking at this.
No.
It's really
The lighthouse there.
sorry
Look
to
at the
sorry to lose focus
advantage.
here. Yeah,
It's easy to lose focus in Costa Cervo.
yeah. It's a wonderful. We have to protect this area.
Very much.
Oh my
Like
God.
all the sea, but especially this area. And it's too bad with the cloud sky we cannot see the emerald water
Yeah.
because the
In
clouds
Corsica.
are in the sky covering the sun. But seems like they're quite comfortable, huh?
Mm-hmm.
We've seen them already in this position once.
So they're going to be
before.
much happier today than they were yesterday. They were really not. See, now it's one thing also is in soft conditions, less wind, roll the jib. In these conditions, breeze picks up.
You want the jib open.
You want the jib open.
What,
And
does
you
it have
see
to
that how far,
stabilize?
I mean, they
Oh gosh,
sailed
they're
a perfect
flying,
race.
yeah.
Huh?
They're flying
So
now.
the Italians also, they have a situation with their kite. You see that? That's bad. That's really
bad.
not good.
Oh, this is
this-
the Muhlenberger. The green one.
The green one is
they had
Mühlenberger.
the- yeah.
See?
Yeah, but
So they
they
won
split.
this.
Did you see the Italian
Yes,
and the Muhlenberger?
yes,
They
yes.
split.
We'll see when
Another
get back
cheer
to
for the
that.
Berliner.
Another one, huh?
Yeah, doing well. They had an amazing downwind, but this is what happened when you are alone ahead of the fleet.
Well, they are smart too. They
And
called
they're
the-
also
they
smart.
saw the pressure and they went that way. Now this is
So the
interesting.
Muhlenberger
This is very
recovered,
very interesting. So
the
right of
Italians
way
are
is
flat.
to the right boat now. So
Uh-huh.
the Italian boat has right of way. They're passing
Yeah,
behind.
yeah.
So
They're
they'll win
ahead.
this. They're now jibing to close the distance to the finish line. So it's very just to cover, just to be safe. Good.
Ah, but that was dangerous, huh? It-
See, and
Oh,
how
gosh.
boat number 5
Yes.
with the pressure increase, how this whole thing changes and becomes very close racing.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think at the start or the finish line, the pressure is higher.
No, it was on the last leg, the pressure really increased, and we saw the white caps, which we didn't see before, and that's really the sign that the wind is picked up.
Wow, another race
Wow.
was finished. The Berliner won again. Aeronautica Militare is securing the good position in the overall ranking. And we've seen the Muhlenberger doing well again.
So
Nice.
where
The
are we in the overall?
So this was the first race of Flight 9.
So the overall results would be interesting now,
Yes.
because where did the Spanish team had a first bad race with
Yep.
finishing 5th.
And like we said, no discard. So they're going to
No
keep
discard,
it
but everybody has no discard, so it's
Yeah.
equal. No,
equal.
yeah, but they'll come back from that, and they're stable. So
Yeah.
they will. But with the lesson I learned in all these years of racing, what is you learn the most from losing.
Yeah. This is what you told me earlier. And you're
This is
saying to the younger
yes,
generation in the cloud.
Don't be frustrated. I mean, it's frustrating. You're competitive. Obviously, losing is not is not good. But actually, you really become a better sailor when you learn from losing. What
And the
we've learned,
difficulties.
yes,
Yeah.
what we've learned from. My dad always used to say, if you don't know how to lose, you'll never be able to win. So that's something I
true.
took to my heart.
So true.
And the advantage of especially the Kiwis, is that they are easy on this.
Oh, they're very
Yeah,
easy.
they are easy on this. You know, if you really
True.
have a bad result,
True.
you bitch about it, sorry, for a minute or two, and then
And then you
forget
go.
it and move on. Huh? So don't be too bad to yourselves if you don't have a good race.
Yeah, and like you were saying, when you started your Volvo Ocean Race campaign, nobody gave credit to you until you won the first leg.
Well, we had a strong team, but it was for coming from Leverkusen, and not not a town known for sailors. My dad, obviously, especially my dad. So it took us a while to let's say, to establish ourselves. Yeah, I have to say, we were unconventional. Be unconventional, that's another thing.
So, Michael, do you want to go on the water? Because
Yes.
this is your chance to go on the water and leave me here. We'll change
I will
Michael.
leave you.
Okay.
I hope it was good. I hope
It was
I did a good job.
great.
You see, just coming
You
back,
don't
you
have
see
to
the
go. You
pressure.
can stay if you want.
No,
Up to you.
I really want to go on that race
Okay.
committee boat because I want to be with Eduardo, with Fabrizio, with
your team.
with the team.
From your Club Costa Smeralda.
Yes,
And
yes,
speak
yes.
some Italian.
No,
I hear you're
parliamo
fluent.
italiano adesso, eh? Imparo italiano.
Bravo,
Wow.
impari italiano on the committee boat.
Wow.
Sulla barca comitato.
Sulla barca comitato, ok.
Va bene.
Grazie mille.
Grazie a te, Michael. Enjoy the next races on the water.
Yes, I will.
And you'll tell us about it.
Yes, I will. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
From the start, we've been saying it clearly. We have to act to protect the ocean, because human life depends on it. You are never too young to make a difference. More and more people are becoming aware of how much we can do when working together, adopting behavior to defend the environment. That's why we are spreading the ocean literacy, understanding the influence that the ocean has on us and how we affect the ocean is the first step to making a difference. Because in reality, we look at the sea without seeing it. We're not concerned about what is happening underneath the waves, because those problems are out of our sight, but those are the things that are seriously changing the possibilities of life on Earth. It's the accumulation of many pollutants and plastic waste. Acidification. It's the rising temperature. It's the reduction of marine habitats and biodiversity. The ocean and human beings are inextricably intertwined, but this doesn't seem to matter. The ocean also provides livelihoods for more than 3 billion people and has a huge economic value. If it were a nation, it would be the 7th largest economy in the world. We are ocean defenders, young but very determined to act, to deal with the emergency and really change the future of the planet. Every day, we commit to communicating, educating, raising awareness through sports, promoting scientific research. Carta Smeralda is our code of ethics. We promote it to spread the commitment to protect the marine ecosystem in every activity. Only a change in each individual's behavior leads to a whole change. The knowledge of the problem leads to the awareness of wanting to change. We don't want our children to ask us in the future why we didn't do anything while we still had time. Today, although the time we have for change is running out, together we can meet this challenge.
And we're back, and I'm not alone, like I was saying. So Michael Lilbrook, the Commodore, left us to go on the water. How can we blame him? We cannot. But Oliver Schwalla just joined me. Thank you, Ollie, for being here. And for those who don't know, Ollie is the engine behind all this. So you had the intuition a few years ago that there could be some serious club racing.
Yes, indeed. I mean, it's great to see that league sailing becomes so popular and that we finally made it here for the final in 2020, even due to this strange corona situation we are in.
Yes.
Very competitive races we can see. So looking forward for the next race. I think we just heard there's one boat under repair, so we have a little bit more time for the next race.
Yes, because they're using all the same boats. It's 7 boats out there, so if there is a little breakage, then they try to repair it on the water. But I have to say the format works fantastic because with this 3 marks situation, you can easily change scores. The ribs are fast to bring the teams to the boat, so there's not much wait actually between one race and the other.
No, we have a kind of time limit of 2 minutes. So after each race, we are changing the boats. So the crew's already waiting on the rubber boats to get in. They are checking if there are any damages, and as soon as, at this case, we can see here now there's a damage obviously on this boat. So obviously they need a new jib. But usually after latest, after 2 to 3 minutes, the race committee is starting the next race.
Perfect. But until they are ready to start, we could watch another of the interviews that we recorded this morning. We have a Russian team, so it's mainly European teams, like we said, because the Australian and the Asian countries could not join. And for the Russian also, it wasn't so easy to actually get here. But they are here and they're so happy, and we can watch this interview together. It's amazing to have a Russian yacht club at the Sailing Champions League final here in Porto Cervo. We are sure that your journey wasn't easy, so thank you for your effort.
Oh, thank you. Yes, for us it was very difficult to preparation come here because we need to make a lot of documents and many speaks with different people in Russia. But the way was simple for us.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and since you're here, you're doing very well. You've just come back from the water where you ended your race in second place. So this brings you, I think, in a 6th overall, all very close. And how do you plan on getting in the top 4?
Sorry, I can say now our plan because it's a secret for other teams. Yes, but we have plan also, and usually we sailing in competition like this. Usually we not start race competition in the top. We start in the middle and after go higher. And the weather in the first 2 days was hard. The first day we tried to sailing on this boat and try to check how we can sailing fast, you know. And the second day was more easy. And today the wind is more light and the weather is easy for sailing. And we hope we can do well.
I'm sure you can. So enjoy today and tomorrow on the water. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So in the next race, we're actually going to see the Russian team in action. It's going to be a race with 6 boats racing and not 7 like usual because we are 27 teams. There are some flights with 1 less boat, but overall, at the end of the day, everybody will have the same number of races and flights and conditions, right? This is how it works.
Exactly. I mean, this is due to the fact we are expected 28 teams to come, but 1 team from, I think, from Estonia, they couldn't make it. So we are now 27 teams. This is why we have 1 boat as a kind of spare boat now. So 6 teams are racing, and I think we're going to see, beside the Russians, we see 2 teams from Sweden, ASS and STSS.
And then we have the Finland, so it's going to be a North race.
Finnish team. We're going to have the Norddeutsche Regattaverein. They just won the German league, so they're really well prepared. I think they're not so happy with their results now. Overall, they're on 10th place, but there are still a lot of races to come. And we have another team from Germany, as far as I can see, is the Deutsche Touring Yacht Club. Even a very, very strong club. They won the German league a couple of years ago as well, a young team here. They won't be as happy as well with their overall results, but we could see from the guys from Berlin that they're coming back after a bad start.
Yes.
2 races win in a row. So, very looking forward to the next race. But obviously there is an issue with the jib, so it takes some time. The repair boat here, the rig boat, they are handling if there's any damage, so the teams don't have to repair it on their own. There's a service team on the water.
And they'll be done soon. And we were saying there are so many German clubs around. Is this because it all started in Germany in 2013?
No,
it is strong in Germany.
Well, I wouldn't say that the teams from the other countries are very strong as well. The reason was that we just had one qualifier this year. Usually we had 3 qualifiers. One was planned in St. Petersburg in Russia. I had to cancel it for coronavirus, and the other one was scheduled in Finland, Mariehamn, very nice island in the northern part of Sweden. It's close to Sweden, but it's Finnish. It's a Finnish island. So there was just one qualification. It was, and the qualification was on Lake Starnberg in Munich. Pretty light wind, and a lot of German qualified there. So that's the reason why we have so many German teams here now.
Yeah, but I also meant that the league is very strong in Germany because it's very felt as a championship.
That's true. I mean, we have a lot of teams, a lot of clubs who really take this league sailing very, very serious. They are practicing the whole year. I think even this year, beside other countries, we were able to fulfill the full German league, which was under Corona condition, not an easy game. So probably they have a bit of an advantage here that they have practiced a little bit more because in other countries it was strictly forbidden to go on the water. If it makes sense or not, we can't discuss this, but this was that how it was. Yes.
Yeah, the more races you get done in one season, the more you arrive prepared.
Yeah, it's always, time on the water. Yeah, time on the water is always a benefit for you and for your team. You get familiar with the boat, with the maneuvers. And we could see when the mark roundings are, how fit the teams are. I mean, they're really good in boat handling here. But if you go into the overall ranking now, which we're probably going to see when this flight is full, if flight is probably
so
all
we're missing 2 races in the 9th flight.
Then we have 4 races. Each club then have the same amount of races, and then the overall ranking makes sense. But it's not the case that all the German teams are leading. It's a colorful mix of guys from Spain, Germany, Russia, Italy, Switzerland. Finland, even very, very strong. The team is going to sail now.
With a very young skipper.
Very young skipper. And
first time here.
Yeah.
Great. It's good to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
many young faces around.
Yeah, when we started the league in Germany, I think the average age was something like around 30, but we're getting younger and younger every day. So year by year, young teams are getting in. In Germany, we have a first and a second division. And a youth league as well. So in this youth league, there are, I think, 24 teams. They are the kind of successors for their clubs to be qualified into the first or even second league. So there are a lot of young teams getting in. Some of them have an Olympic campaign behind them, or some of them decided not to sail Olympic classes, and they take the league as a perspective for them, and they take it pretty serious. Yeah.
Which is good. It also helps grow the attachment to your club, something that in other countries we don't see so much.
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of brand core of the Champions League and the whole national leagues, that you sail for your club. Usually, you sail on a J70 boat or a Melgus, whatever. Like Mike, just for your team. And yes, you are a club member, but in this case, the clubs are on the stage. And this makes this format very special. And I think this is what everybody appreciates. And we have it in other sports as well, And surprisingly, nobody had the idea before setting up a format like this in sailing.
It's like the Bundesliga of sailing, right?
Yeah, we copied a lot from football. The name, and we have the first division and the second division, and even between the first and the second, you can qualify and you can be downgraded. So it's very similar. We use a lot of ingredients from other league sports.
Which is fine, because if it works in other sports, we don't see why it wouldn't work with sailing. And this Sailing Champions League has proven that it works. And the hashtag for this season is actually Spirit of Club Sailing, which is the spirit of this competition, of this event. And like we said, I mean, it's already a win to be here with 27 teams clubs coming from all over Europe.
Yeah, and as we heard, for some of them, it was not easy to get here, particularly the Russians. There are not so many flights. We have had pretty new corona restrictions coming up. Even my team who came here, we had to test ourselves. This was rumor before the event. Finally, there was no reason for do that. But it changed week by week. So this is why we are very, very happy that so many teams made their way to Porto Cervo.
Yeah. And everybody is so eager to race because we had a low season. So I think the Jeep is repaired, but we have still some time to go. So why don't we watch another interview? We talked about the Finnish team doing well. They're coming actually, I think, from the islands that you were talking about, from the archipelago that had to host one of the qualifier, right?
I think that's the case, and I think the skipper is Markus Rönneberg and Mans Lindberg and Melkar Lundberg, probably brothers, and Isaac Nordlund. So this is the team, and we're gonna watch the interview with them.
With Marcus, yes, the skipper. So for the 2020 edition of the Audi Sailing Champions League final, we see again among the competitor OSS from Finland. So I think this is the third time your club is actually racing, even though for you it's the first time, and you're doing so much better this year.
Yeah, we started off really good, and we're trying to keep the momentum from the first day now going into this day.
So how did it go the first 2 days? The wind was pretty shifty, the weather was a bit unstable.
Yeah, so overall we had a lot of wins, and the first day we did really well and won the two races we sailed. Then yesterday we had some more tricky conditions, I would say, and we managed to finish around third and fourth in our races. So I think right now we're on sixth place on the leaderboard, so just below the line to make it into the final. But I think we have just a point there, so it's all up for play today.
And what's the strategy to get into that top 4 places?
Yeah, I think we need to sail consistently, but consistently be in the top 3. I think that's kind of recipe to get there.
Okay, and just your impression, because it's your first time. You probably heard stories about this event. What do you feel?
No, I think it's really great, and it's kind of a combination where you have both match racing and fleet racing, but with 8 boats, or 7 boats. So. It's a really exciting format and a really great competition.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It will never be enough speaking about the format of this event, because it's really revolutionary and exciting and different from everything else we've seen in sailing. So we're talking often in these interviews about getting in the top 4. When does that happen, and what happens then?
Well, I mean, this is even new. Well, there are a lot of innovations in this league format beside club against club. I mean, even that we are similar to the match race where we are changing boats. So none of these teams have any kind of advantage of better sails or better boats. So that's one thing. And the final system, which we discussed intensively together with World Sailing as well, if this could be a kind of benchmark for Olympic sailing as well, because the last 4, we sail as many races as we can until tomorrow, and around lunchtime tomorrow we're gonna have a ranking, and the last four ranked teams are qualified into the final, and in this final it's all about winning a race. So we're gonna the winner is this team or this club who finally got 2 wins, and then it's over. That means the team who is crossing the finishing line in the last race, he's the winner. This is usually don't happen in sailing.
No.
So we are.
And so for people watching from home, it will be easy to understand that they don't have to make calculations.
Exactly. So we sail 4 teams, as many wins as possible. After 2 wins, when one club has 2 wins, the final is over.
But you get an advantage if you are the first in the ranking,
exactly.
Which is true, correct, because I mean they were the first in the ranking.
Exactly. The leader already gets 1 win into this final, and that means if, for example, the first final race, the leader wins, then it's over.
He's the winner.
He's the winner. But we've tested this format quite often, and we never. I think there was just 1 case where the leader wins. But it doesn't really happen quite often.
We'll see what happens tomorrow.
Absolutely.
It's still very open, like we've said, because we are about to start race 3 of flight 9.
Yeah.
So still, we're halfway actually.
Absolutely,
We're perfectly halfway.
Yeah.
Because there are 9 more flights to be sailed. And if the conditions stay like this for today, we're going to get many flights in, I think. It's great
Absolutely.
conditions
Yeah,
out there.
we lost a little bit of time, so it was tough conditions the last day. It was blowing hard, and a couple of boat damages and sails damage. As we can see now, we are waiting for the next race. This can happen. We can see here on the boats, I think these are the teams already waiting for the next race to come after this one. But
Yes.
we need to give the repair team a little bit of time to get the boats in good shape, because it's not fair if you have some kind of damage and you have to sail the race with a damaged boat. So they really try their best to get the boats prepared on the water.
There's a lot of behind the scene work for this kind of event and a lot of support from the yacht club hosting it.
Absolutely. I mean,
yeah.
you can't hand an event like this with all the volunteers and with the support of the yacht club. So you need the race committee. We have umpires here on the water. We have on-water judging. Even this is similar to other sports as well, that if there is any kind of situation between the boats, the umpires decide whether it was a penalty or even not.
Right there on the water.
Exactly.
Immediately.
They have a green flag if there was no penalty, and if there's a penalty, they have a red flag, and they announce it to the team who was, guilty for that, and then they have to do a 360 turn, which is pretty costly in these short races.
Very costly. We've seen it in the previous races.
Yeah.
It is costly, and I'm sure that from Yacht Club Costa Smeralda you had all the support, because this is a very professionally run club.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now we are very happy to be here. I mean, we are with Yacht Club Costa Smeralda since the beginning. I mean, when we started this
is one of the umpires we were talking about.
Yeah, this is one of the umpires. I mean, they have radio on board, so they can talk to each other. There are at the same time 4 umpires on the water, and they're really controlling the race. And even if they are a little bit unsecure about the situation, they can call the other umpire if they, from another perspective, from another rib, probably oversee the situation better in order to make the right call. Yeah, it's a great teamwork, and it's a great umpire team we are having here.
Yeah, and you were saying you've been coming to Porto Cervo for quite a long time.
Yes, I mean, I think it's the
qualifier.
4th event, as far as 4th or 5th, I really can't remember, because when we started this league thing, I was talking to the Commodore, the previous Commodore of
Ricardo Bonadeo.
Ricardo Bonadeo, and he said, well, this is great what you're doing, we want to have it here in Porto Cervo, which is for us was a great honor, because usually they have all these big super yacht regattas here. And since then, I mean, we are an integrated part of their race calendar each year.
Yes, nice.
And not always the final, but and this year we are happy to have the final back. And as we listen to the Commodore, the new Commodore, Mike Ilbrook, he's very familiar with these kind of sailing, and probably will be here more often in the future. Let's see.
Yeah, let's see. So it's 3 minutes to go. We see
Yes.
the flag on the YCCS committee boat. We can recognize Edoardo Recchi, Fabrizio Ferina, and all the team there working. And so 3 minutes to go. It's when you start looking around and see if the conditions, if the wind is the same as the previous races, or if something has changed. What would you guess?
Well, I had a couple of discussions with the teams. It seems to be that the previous races, the left-hand side of the course was better. This is why most of the teams were trying to start at the pin end.
Yes.
The pin end is the yellow flag, which we can see in the front. So the left-hand side turned out to be a little bit better. Why? Because there were some shifts to the left, and with the left shift, you can shorten the course. And some puffs are getting into this race course, and they had a little bit more breeze. But I think the last 2 races, it changed a little bit. We could see the wind from Verein Seglaus am Wannsee, the Berlin team, and they came from the right. So it's getting more, the more it clears up. This morning was very cloudy. Now the sun is coming back.
Coming out.
And this always has a kind of influence into how the wind is behaved. So it can happen that we're going to have totally different conditions for the next race. But I expect the teams, I mean, with the starting line is, the first tactical decision for the teams, which side of the course they prefer. So whether they start at the starting vessel, so they think the right-hand course is better, or even at the pin end, and then they want to head off to the left-hand side. It looks to me as if most of them want to start at the starting vessel.
looks like they're staying on that side.
Yeah, to me it looks like we have 1 minute to go, and they are all
On that
behind the
side,
starting
yeah.
vessel.
And we have to remind that this is a 6-boat flight because we have 27 teams overall. So it won't be actually different from the previous ones because one boat doesn't make a difference. So we'll see pretty much the same fleet racing on the race course.
Okay, there's one
This
boat,
is the
the green
6th boat
boat.
coming in.
The green boat is coming in. He wants to start leeward from them, obviously. There are 40 seconds to go. So let's wait and see what the start brings.
Yes, so 30 seconds, half a minute to go. Looks like the wind is just as strong as it was before, even if not stronger. So we're about 15, 17 knots, I would say. And 20 seconds to go. Now it's the time where you want to position the best way possible. And like you said, Ollie, they're all going for a right-hand start. So
Yeah, not
committee
all
boat.
of them. You can see here in the front the green boat and the pink boat. They decided to go to the left.
Was it that or more to have a clear start?
Yeah, well.
Both. It's always both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you go to the left, you definitely count to the left-hand side.
Oh, it's the
looks-
Russian team.
Yeah, it's a Russian team. It looks pretty equal, and the pink boat should be one team SVKR.
R.
But here we can see the leaderboard, which is good if we're using the SAP Sailing Analytics. I mean, it will change during the whole race, but now we can see who is a little bit in the lead, and it seems to me that the boats on the right-hand side, Deutsche Touring Yacht Club and Norddeutsche Regatta Verein, they started
On the
more
right.
towards the starting vessel. They have a bit of advantage. It's not much. You can see 3 meters to 4 meters, so it's quite equal. Boats
Yeah.
are in the middle. We can see them here. Deutsche
They're
Touring
keeping a
and-
very
yeah.
smart position in the middle so
Yeah.
they can
They start in
easily
the middle
adjust.
to keep the decision which side is better open.
Yeah.
We can see the split of the course now. You know, the Russians.
The Finnish are going
yes.
all the way to the right, and at the moment they're leading. But like we said, things are going to change
Yeah, and
throughout the race.
Exactly. This depends on where the puffs are coming in, where stronger wind, or even some wind shifts. Now they
so
are
the
attacking.
Russian are coming back in
Yeah.
a little bit on the course. They were going too far left, and they're of course behind the fleet
They
at the
are
moment.
so far behind the fleet, but
Also
it will
'cause-
be interesting to see what happens to the two boats on the right,
on the far right.
far right-hand side of the course. Let me double check.
But
which
the
boats are
the Russian actually decided that probably the left wasn't the side they wanted to go to.
Well, I mean, if you decide yourself to go for one side and you see, oh, probably it was not the best decision, it's sometimes better to
Change
change
your mind.
and and to correct a mistake you made, because it probably won't get worse.
Especially in the beginning. And then it's not only about the wind shift, it's also about a lot about boat maneuvering and handling. So
Absolutely. I mean, it's a good mix of boat handling. It's a good mix of having the right tactics, but it's not as extreme as you have with larger fleets and when the race course is very, very long.
Very long,
you
exactly.
don't have the right-hand side here is just a couple of meters. With a fleet of 60 boats, the right-hand side is sometimes like half of a kilometer.
True.
And here, this is why the race is so interesting to the very end. They all stay very, very close together. So far it seems to be, looking from the analytics and even from the drone perspective.
Even shift, huh?
But the left-hand side turns out to be better again. Here we can see it. That's definitely the teams who decided to go
Stay
to the left.
right. Didn't,
They are in the lead,
and
not
the right
far.
didn't pay at all.
Exactly. But again, Norddeutsche Regatta Verein and Touring.
It was smart of them to stay
yeah.
right in the middle.
Yeah, and then you can see, they could see the splitting, and then you can correct yourself. So it was not, they never sail really extreme to one side, because when the wind is shifting, sometimes it happens that you sail too far. This is very costly as well.
Yeah. So Norddeutsche Regatta Verein from Hamburg was finished second last year. So they're definitely here for revenge, right?
Definitely. I mean, these guys are under pressure. They started really strong yesterday and the day before. Today was not their best day, so they definitely need to recover. So a win in this race will definitely help them. But as we can see, the leaderboard is changing
Oh gosh,
every
yes.
second. So it's pretty close.
It's
and I
too
think
early.
this young team here, Deutsche Touring Yacht Club, they are probably on first or second position. And Seglervereinigung Kreuzlingen here, the guys from Switzerland, very strong team as well. I think he's a former Olympic 49er sailor. Very strong.
I can
and now they are rounding the mark at first. So leader of the pack are the Swiss team. Kreuzlingen. Second is Norddeutsche Regattaverein. And third, very young team from Deutsche Touring Yacht Club. Interesting club, by the way, because this whole league thing, the first league event ever, was hosted by the Deutsche Touring Yacht Club.
And where are they based?
They are at Lake Starnberg, which is close to Munich in the south.
In the south.
Yeah.
So, even myself, but people who are watching this are realizing that the south of Germany is actually a very good sailing, cradle. Many good sailors are coming from the south of Germany.
Well, I mean, we don't have so much coastline as Italy and France and Portugal, for example. I mean, we have coastline, but the sailing community in Germany is very much based on league sailing. Look at these images. This is great. I mean, they are really flying.
Yes.
I think this is the Norddeutsche Regattaverein. They have a very strong tactician on board. David Chapman, he won last year for his club in Australia, Royal Sydney Yacht Squadron. He won. He's a really good sailor. He's very familiar with the boat. He's a good tactician. And the rest of the team, the skipper is very strong. And
even perfect dive.
Yeah, they are really good in boat handling and tactics. So
you can see the wind is strong because they're all staying rather in the back of the boat.
Yeah, I mean, if you open, this is the point. There's a certain point where you get the jib out, and then you speed up, and with the speed you can go further down to the mark as well. And now we can see they roll it back. And now
they're rolling it back in.
It's always when the puffs are not there anymore and the wind is decreasing, they roll it back, and then they go the perfect VMG, as Michael explained before.
Yeah, this the magic number, the compromise between the best wind speed and the direction.
But in a V, they did a good job. You can
Let's
see
see
here.
what they're running. I mean, the Hamburger people boat is going left
and right. And we saw the race before that the left-hand side was better. A little better. So I would definitely count on NRV, but you never know. Kreuzlingen is a strong team as well. They can see it much better on the water than we here. So probably there is a bit more wind on the right-hand side, but most of the races, I would say 70% of the races before, the left side turned out to be a little bit better. But they are followed by the yellow boat, which is
the Russian team. So it's nice to see them back. Yes, it's nice to see them back, but also the younger German. Now I'm kind of, cheering for this young German team. No, I'm not cheering for anybody, but I'm happy to see that this race is much more open than the previous one.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's always so close together. And as you mentioned together with Mike before, it's over when it's over. Everything can happen even on the last downwind. So you need to keep the boat running. You need to be very aware of any kind of wind shift.
No mistakes allowed.
Exactly. Now we can see, I counted on the NRV, but so far it looks a little bit at the right-hand side of the course. It's not as worth as I thought, but they're in the middle of the upwind course, so they have probably 3-4 minutes to go. A lot of things can happen. None of them is on the ley line so far.
Far from the ley line.
Probably the Deutsche Touring Yacht. You can see them at the right-hand side. This is the young team from Germany, and they decided to go far away to the right-hand side, which is pretty risky.
Very risky.
But we already had races where the right-hand side was better. So
they must have seen something out there that we cannot see.
Probably.
At the moment, it looks like their decision was the right one. But like you say, we're halfway through the race.
So NRV tack now.
They're going back
there will be a cross in a couple of seconds with the Swiss. And here we can see it pretty good. The Swiss are probably not on the ley line, but Deutsche Touring Yacht Club, they're heading far away to the right-hand side. And they have good pressure.
Yeah.
And it shifts a little to the right. Probably they gained some meters towards the Swiss and the NRV, which is coming in here now. And will be covered by the Swiss team, which is a smart decision. That they cover them, they get some bad air, and you
that's
can see
why they're going away.
Now they're tacking away immediately. So it looks a little bit to me as NRV lost a couple of meters. Even the Russians are pretty close to them. You can see it here. They
As
are
many tags is going to cost the Norddeutsche Regatta Verein a little bit.
Yeah.
You want to avoid maneuvering as much as you can.
So
and keep it
NRV
simple.
definitely lost some meters, but crazy enough, the Russians, they had more or less the same course as the NRV.
Yes.
So they decided as well to go to the left.
And we see now that the risky decision of the Deutscher Touring Yacht Club is not, at the moment, is not so strong.
Didn't
So
pay
we'll
back.
see.
We will see, but that's exactly the situation. Sometimes you have good pressure, the wind shifts to the right, but it's very unlikely that it lasts for the whole upwind course. So the wind is always going like 10, 15 degrees to the left and back to the right and back to the left. These rhythm, to find this rhythm of the wind out and make based on this the right decision.
And
this is what
adjust.
the teams has to do,
Yeah.
exactly.
And dance with the wind, kind of way.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
Because of course the wind is not like a fan that you turn on and it goes straight in that direction.
Sometimes you have it, but even on race courses like Lake Garda, where you have these aura winds pretty
Yes.
strong, even there you have wind shifts. But
Of
the
course.
guys here, Oberhofen, Seglervereinigung, they did a pretty good job. They are now leading by far.
By a nice advantage.
Followed by the Russians. They took,
See?
yeah, look at this. I mean, they made it. Impressive. Very good job. NRV, yeah, it was
They're
not the
still
best
there.
upwind course for
But
them.
they're still there.
They're still there,
Holding
and
tight.
it's good breeze coming in, so I think they're going to attack. They go a little bit higher in order to get more pressure. But the Russians, they keep calm, so they stay leeward to them, and now the NRV is getting back.
And I wouldn't forget also the touring, the Deutscher Touring Yacht Club, because they're not far. See, they're like trading down together.
Yeah, but you can see now, the Swiss guys, they have like a proper lead of around about
I was going to
50
say,
minutes.
the only boat I would like to be in
Yeah.
on this race would be the Swiss one.
But the others,
Because
they
they're
will
quite
be it will be
safe.
interesting to see. Now we can see Deutsche Touring. They have really good wind there coming up. And one boat
Wow,
decided to tack
it
away.
looks like the Russians are faster, or
They're
it's
really fast.
just an impression. Maybe it's
Yeah.
the drone angle.
I think they got a puff from the back. That's
Yeah.
that's always the case.
And they have the jib open, in fact, like
Yeah.
you say. So,
Yeah.
so
But I
maybe they
think
do have
after
something
this
more.
jibe, I mean, they're still like 30 meters distance to the Russians. So I think the Swiss team,
Are in a
not
safe
any
position.
bad thing is happening. But you can see here the grey boat. They have
Oh,
much
gosh,
more
yeah.
wind. They're really hammering down. I think they will not be able to overtake the Swiss team because they will get this wind right now as well. Now we can
Yeah,
see them.
they got it. They got the.
But
the
look
good
at the
wind.
Russians. They're still very close. So here we can see the speed. They're up to 12 knots, 11 knots, 13 knots. Deutsche Touring.
Yeah, Deutsche Touring is faster, and it's the fastest we've seen today. Yeah? So the wind is picking up, and
Yep.
you can see the boat is basically surfing.
Yeah, we'll be close
there
between
they
Russia
are.
and
And the
Switzerland.
Ahmad, yes.
Wow, this will be really close racing.
Oh gosh.
Look at this. It
They
will be
might
a very
win.
close.
The Russian might
I
win.
think, wow, this
Oh,
was
I
really a
cannot
good
call
call
it.
from these guys.
I
That
cannot
was
call
good.
it. Yeah, it was great.
I'm not 100% sure if the tracking is right now because
So the Russian are celebrating.
Yeah.
But I think they cannot be sure either.
Okay, but I think the race course, the race committee, they have a very
Very
good
clear
perspective.
view. Yeah, absolutely.
And I think the Russians made a very good call from them. I mean, they were really
Yeah.
fast. Very good upwind. Second upwind was fantastic, and downwind that didn't make any mistake. Was really good.
And fewer jibes as well. I don't know why the Norddeutsche Regatta Verein, they went all the way to the left hand side.
It was an early jibe. I mean, but it did really
It was too
pay
early
back.
as a call.
Yeah.
But whatever. I mean, they're still fourth, and
Yeah,
it's
but
not
not good
bad.
enough for them to recover. I mean, overall, they need more places underneath first and second. But nevertheless, that's how it goes. And the other teams are pretty strong, as we can see. And any small mistake here will cost you at least 1 or 2 boats. And this is very costly. And you don't have much time to recover. You know, one wrong decision. I wouldn't say the race is over, but it's really,
but you're out
really
the top
tough.
three.
Yeah.
And but like we were saying with Michael earlier, so it is a very costly regatta, but at the same time you have so many flights that you have time to recover in the next races.
But if the teams who have the consistency of always being underneath the top three, then it's more
Difficult.
very realistic that they are overall underneath at least the top five. And we all know that we discussed the final system. Here it's all about getting into the final four.
Top four.
And there are a couple of teams still fighting for it. And I think the Russians, with their win now, they made a big step forward for probably getting qualified. But it's early to look at,
Yes.
much too early to look into the final, because there are so many races to come.
Yes, but after the next race, so the fourth one of Flight 9, we will have a clearer view overall, and we will be able to see the provisional overall ranking. So in this next race, we're going to see KSSS racing with Bjorn Hansen. We did an interview with him. He's a match racing champion, and he can bring some of his skills into this kind of racing. We're gonna see. We're gonna be able to draw some lines after this race.
Yeah, definitely. And then we're gonna. It's an interesting group, by the way. I mean, we have Wassersportvereinigung Hemeling, really hard to announce for non-Germans, from the north part of Germany, with Carsten Kemmling as a skipper and his team. They have a quite good position here. Overall, they are now kind of second, at least top three. They will be in this fleet. We're going to have Segel- und Motorboot Club Überlingen, which is from Lake Bodensee, a very big lake in the southern part of Germany.
They did well yesterday.
Yeah,
right?
they did very well. I mean, and even they are now overall ranked in third position. So two very strong teams from Germany here. KSSS, Björn Hansen, you just mentioned. And we have another Swiss team from the club BT, which is Bordet de Tribot, with Lorenz Kauche as a skipper, and Laurent Fauré, Timon Kauche, and David Biedermann. This is the team from Bordet de Tribot.
Yes, and while we wait for this race to start, we could listen to and watch an interview we recorded with Bjorn Hansen this morning. He was telling us about the actual similarities they can find between this event and the match racing. So, what he says. So at the Audi Sailing Champions League final, we also have Bjorn Hansen helming, skippering the Swedish team, of course. So this is not a match race, but it's got something of it, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the idea with provided boats and everyone have equal equipment that really triggers our team. We think it's a fantastic way of sailing. You don't have to bring your boat all over the world. You just grab your bag and go down sailing. So that's really fun. And short, tight races. I mean, if you do a mistake and do bad in one race, you know that you will get a new chance in an hour or so. So yeah, it's really attractive us.
And how is it for you that you not just have to watch one other boat on the race course, but actually 6 more boats here in Porto Cervo?
Yeah, I mean it's like fleet racing, but the concept with very short courses makes it very tight at all the roundings, and just as you say, it's 6 or 7 other boats to keep track on. But I think it suits us. I mean, from the match racing we can take the close battling, and we know the rules by heart. So I think we might have an advantage there. But then you, of course, see all the young upcoming sailors who is extremely good sailors. So we definitely have our hands full here to get some results in.
And the goal for everybody is to make that cut, the top 4 teams, and go race the final.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was our goal coming here. We started extremely poor the first day with 2 last place finishes. So we have to climb slowly from that, and we take one race at a time. And might sound boring, but that's the way we have to focus now. Just look at the next race and try to do it as good as possible.
12 more flights to go, so plenty of possibilities.
Definitely.
Thank you, Bjorn.
Thank you.
Thank you. First thing that we noticed as a difference from this morning is the light. It was really cloudy this morning. It's really sunny out there right now. So this will help the breeze increase. we can already see the pressure a little bit stronger there. And we keep talking about this top 4, and it will be even more of a topic tomorrow morning in the interviews, because it's a tough game.
It is definitely a tough game. But again, I think we're going to have, now it's 2 o'clock. I think we will be able to sail at least until 6. It get dark around 7, I think 7:30. So there are quite more races to come. So the game for the final is still open. But
Absolutely.
It will be very interesting to enter. And we're going to have lighter winds. So we had kind of mistral conditions the last 2 days. Today, I think it's absolute nice sailing, and we have sun. We have like 20 knots of wind. It looks to be that it's very stable wind conditions. Fantastic sailing, and it's getting warmer when the sun is back. It's warm outside.
Nice. Yes.
Probably they decide again to sail with short trousers out there. Let's see.
We'll see. We're in the pre-start. It's 1 minute to go. Actually 2. So now it's the 1 minute. One last minute to the race start. And like you said, it looks like it's on the 20s now. The wind, 20 knots.
Yes.
This will change. The races will be even faster out there. In the previous race, we've seen the peak velocity of the day. It was about 14 knots downwind, and we're going to see even more surfing. We're going to see some changes in the crew setup. We were saying with Michael, it's really difficult for the skipper, who's also trimming the main. But I don't want to take any time off now. The start is 15 seconds to go. We'll go back to the setup later. What are we seeing? There want to be...
Well, we are seeing that they are really far behind the line. And the blue boat there, this is the Wassersportvereinigung Himmeling with Carsten Kemmling as the skipper. Last second, we can see they are really far behind the line. So I think the best start goes definitely to the pink boat, boat number 5. I think it's Björn Hansen, the Swedish team here.
Yes.
Very good start, followed by
the green boat, the number 4.
Yeah, and 7 is quite good as well, but I think definitely the best pull position so far is the Royal Swedish Yacht Club with Björn Hansen. Leeward position, they're heading off to the left-hand side of the course. They anyhow have no chance to tack now, but they count on the left-hand side. And boat number 1, we can see the blue boat there. This is Carsten Kemmling and his crew from Wassersportvereinigung Himmeling. Not a good start. You can see now they are tacking away. They are far behind all the other boats. Now they have to do something different. Yes, just to attack the other boats. But we can see the start was not really good. Much too late. But interesting enough, boat number 2, which is another German team from Überlingen, Segel- und Motorboot Club Überlingen. They started at the other side of the starting line, very close to the starting vessel, and they have some good pressure as well. So I think it's here we can see them.
Still very open.
So they have all the rights, all the boats who will tack now. They have to give room and watch out that they, do not crossing the boats in a way that they got a penalty. We can see the umpires here following the teams.
That's going to be harder for them now with the wind picking up.
But again, the Swedish keep on going, and if the left-hand side
they're happy with the left-hand
side. I think, they keep on going, and as soon, I think in the next couple of seconds, we're going to see that the fleet is going to tack. Nevertheless, the boats in the middle
are well positioned.
In a very good position. Now they are tacking. I know it will be interesting to see if they can cross. Or they are all tacking together.
Yes.
That's luck for KSSS.
Yes.
And then we can see the crossing between Überlingen and KSSS. I think they have to go behind. Yes.
Of course. Because they don't have right to go.
Yeah.
But one thing is that the yellow boat far behind is the boat from Estonia.
Yeah.
And I mean, the wind is stronger now, and they are the youngest team and probably the lightest team of the fleet, so they don't like the wind to go up.
No, probably tomorrow is their day.
When
unfortunately, a little bit late.
Yeah,
we're going to have light
late.
wind tomorrow. Yes, for sure. If you have a heavy crew in these conditions, it's definitely an advantage. You're not allowed to sail with more than 4 people on the boat.
And you have
Except
3
if you
hiking
would be
on.
a women team. A pure women team would be allowed to sail with 5. The Royal Danish Yacht Club, they sent it already a pure women team, I think 2 years ago.
How did it go?
I think quite good.
Okay.
Quite good. Yeah, they were quite good.
But now there's also a women's league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the women.
It's been there for a couple of years.
There's a big. We try to have a Women Champions League in in Lisbon this year. In Cascais, unfortunately for Corona reasons, we have to cancel that. But we are. I mean,
one of the many events that got cancelled. But like we're seeing the setup, the crew setup. 3 people hiking hard outside. Out
and the skipper had a lot of work. We can see Michael there. He's really working hard.
Yes, and also with this wind, the main gets really hard to trim.
And it's sometimes good, even if there are waves, that you're ongoing pulling on the main, that you get a little bit pressure to
like being
get
on
through
a
the
huge
wave.
laser boat.
So, I mean, I did skippering this boat very often. I can tell you this is really a tough job. Downwind we can relax a little bit, but upwind is, in these conditions, really tough. But they have a really good position. Segel- und Motorboot Club Überling, I think they're definitely leading the pack. Directly followed by Bordet de Tribord, the Swiss team on the grey boat.
On the grey boat, and then the pink one is the Swedish with Bjorn.
They're all Swedish,
and they are a little bit on the mend and gaining a little. But we're gonna see, because the mark rounding is always a crucial moment.
Yes.
And so we're gonna see. So now the Segel and Motorboat Club are gonna cross.
Interesting that these. I mean, they had the best start definitely, and it was not a decision of whether to the left or to the right hand side of the course. In this case, the 2 leading boats had definitely the best start. It was all about the start, not about the left or the right hand side of the course.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but when the wind is strong, sometimes the start it's even more important.
Yeah, it depends a little bit. I mean, it can shift, the wind can shift, and there are anyhow puffs coming in. Now we can see here the Swiss team is attacking Bordet de Tribord.
Yeah, the grey boat
much higher than the others, but this looks, it could be an advantage, but therefore the Segel- und Motorboot Club Überling on the red boat, I think they have in a quite controlling position. There we can see it better in the overview that, Segel- und Motorboot Club Überling, the red boat.
They have a huge advantage.
They have a good advantage. They go very deep. And the KSSS is following him. They go very deep as well. But it will see if it turned out that...
Somehow the board has some edge.
There we can see that Bordet de Tribord, they still have really good pressure. It took the jib out. I think they now have to jibe because they are already on the ley line to the gate.
They did.
Very good maneuver. Very good maneuver. Very
impeccable.
Wow, what's going on there?
Not so good on the Segel and Motorboot Überlinger.
Look at this. This was really, I mean, this was...
is what we meant when we said it's costly.
That's really costly. And it was not really so much wind. So now they are covering, but they gained a lot of meters, the Swiss guys. And now they have an overlap. I think now they're
an easy target. Yeah. And they will be easy to...
I think we're going to see now that the Swiss teams, they are going to jibe. They take the the right-hand side of the gate, so they can decide whether to take the left or the right hand. Now we see the split. So
this was very fast downwind.
It was fast. Yeah, it was strong wind, so this was a very fast downwind. Now we see the split between the 2 leaders. So Überling goes to the right, and Bordet de Tribord to the left. And now it really depends whether you have on one side of the course more wind or a wind shift, which definitely can help you to shorten the course.
And if one will let the other go, or will try to keep it close.
I mean, there was no chance for Segel and Motorboot Club Überling. There was a clear overlap situation from the Swiss, and there was no other chance than take the other gate. If I would now decide to head off so far to the right, I mean, they see something. We already had the discussion before that they can see it much better than we are here in the studio.
I have to stop because something might have happened to KSSS, so the Swedish boat with Bjorn Hansen, because maybe it was a tracker, but
the tracker,
but they did lose anyways. They did lost a few boats anyway.
Yeah, there was a lot of changing at the downwind. And we were
something must have
concentrating
happened
so
in
much
the
on
back
the Swiss team.
rows.
Yeah,
Yes.
but something happened there, and
The
now
back rows,
KSSS
yes.
goes through the middle of the course, and now there's attack.
Yeah, and,
So-
and also we're going to see them getting closer.
Yeah.
And we're going to see who's crossing ahead. The trucker says 20 meters, that's nothing.
But
in
to
the
me,
real.
honestly speaking, I would
What would you
definitely
say?
left-hand side, definitely. You can see how high they
They're
can
going
sail
high.
after the attack. So they are not on ley line, but you never know. I mean, obviously, Segel and Motorboot Club Überling, they have strong wind as well. Here we can see it with the sideline camera. I think definitely.
Not definitely
Bordeaux
the grey
to-
boat. Yeah, the Swiss one.
So the left side was
Paid
definitely
again.
better, paid out, and they have really strong breeze. You can see the main flapping.
Yes.
So they have really good wind, and I think probably was a mix of wind and wind shift. So they gained at least
Because they're crossing
20 meters.
comfortably ahead.
Yeah.
So this is where you want to be when you're close to the upwind mark.
No, Bordeaux de Tribord definitely. That's
And
a
the
very good
Austrian are
lead.
doing well as well.
Yeah, they recover as well. That's quite good. Lorenz Cauchet, he's a skipper on the Bordeaux de Tribord, together with Laurent Fauré. And his brother Timon Cauchet is on board as well, and David Biedermann. This is the crew of Bordeaux de Tribord from
Doing very
Switzerland,
well.
doing a very, very good job. Now they have a really proper lead. We can see that they already tacked together with the rest of the fleet coming from the left. We can see the mark up there. This is the windward mark, and I think they are in a very, very good controlling position now.
This is the second upwind mark. So after this, there's only one downwind down to the finish line, and another open race, another very interesting race. They're getting ready to attack. They will probably be on ley line by now.
Yeah, I assume so. But you can see the distance here on the SIP sailing analytics. That's like 30 meters. So great downwind and the right call for the upwind. And then, you're in such a controlling position, which is really good. I mean, comparison to Segel and Motorboot Club Überling, they were leading at the first mark. They were overtaken at the downwind course, and then they decided to go. Yes, and then they decided to go to the right.
Yeah. But it's incredible to think that one jibing mistake can actually take you on second position.
In such a short race, I mean, even if it's just a 5 degrees shift, I mean, immediately it has an effect. The boats are so close together. And these guys are doing a really good job. Look at this. Now they have just the downwind to the finish line, and I think this definitely race for them. They made it, but we had a similar situation with the Russians the race before. So it's over when it's over.
It's over only when it's over.
But they are in
I
a
can say
quite
the
good...
Bordeaux de Tribord, they're quite comfortably
absolutely.
going to win this fourth race of Flight 9. And I'm very curious to see how the provisional overall ranking is going to look like. We've seen Bjorn Hansen taking
a penalty.
Yeah,
something happened probably at
the downwind gate. Because
But here we can see the distance. Now they're already jiving.
Oh gosh, yeah.
They have really good pressure there, so I think they're already on the direct course to the finish line.
Looks
Guys
like
from Switzerland.
Because the committee boat is the catamaran
Yes.
on the far left. So
Now
they're
we can see
heading
nice
there.
view here. Now look at the pressure. Now Überling is jiving, and even they can get now if they get the full power in the generator, they can get the finish line. But they are definitely, look at this.
15 knots, 14.3.
Look at this.
They're
and
having a great time. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a really good race. I didn't make any mistake.
Like we said, look, they're all in the far back in the stern of the boat.
130 meters. I mean, that's really a lot.
Yeah, they gain 100 meters in just the downwind leg.
Yeah.
They should celebrate. What about this team? I mean, are they? I don't remember where they're staying in the general.
I think we're going to see the overall ranking in a couple of seconds,
yeah.
but I already can, parallel to while we are talking, I have the ranking here.
Nice, so give us some insight.
Well, I think so far the lead is to the Spanish team, Club Náutico.
So they're still leading.
They're still leading, even
though they had a
place
fifth
at the last race. Second is Aeronautico Militare
so they
from
gain
Italy.
1 point.
And Wassersportvereinigung Hemeling on boat number, in this race, on boat number won, the blue boat,
Yes.
they became, as far as I got it right, third.
Yes.
They
and
are
that's
overall
like
in third position as well.
Oh, Bjorn.
Oh,
Bjorn.
whoa.
Bjorn Hansen is. This is not his race.
Struggling.
This is not his race.
But they're all. I think they're already in the finish. So it was.
Yeah.
Out the race. But
still, you can see he's a bit nervous probably.
KSS, they finished fifth. So Bjorn is definitely can't be happy with this result. So. Yeah, look at the wind. I mean, it's
Amazing.
really picking up. This is the typical Mistral Costa
Esmeralda
Esmeralda wind situation. So the last two teams are getting in. Here we can see.
So at the moment we see the Russian are the fourth in
Yes,
the
Russian
overall
on
ranking.
I think
they didn't want to tell us their secret,
No,
but
they have-
somehow it worked.
But it's a great comeback. I mean, they have a very good. I mean, look at the results: second. The last last race to win. So they are overall now on fourth position. And Segel and Motorboot Club Überling, the guys who became second, they are fifth. Here we can see it.
And it's nice to see 4 different countries in the first top 4, which would make tomorrow's final amazing. Segel and Motorboot probably needed a win in this race. It would have taken them even points.
But look
with
at the
Russian.
points. Look at the points.
They're also close.
They're very close. 19
Also
points,
close.
the leading club from Spain, and
They
only
lost some of
22 points to the fourth place.
I don't
but
know
even
if
close
Cameron
number
done it.
fifth is 32, 23, 23, 24. So everything can happen. One race for even the KDY with 27 teams, Royal Swedish Yacht Club. If they got a win, and for example the Russian team is getting 5th or 6th, they are equal. You know.
So yes, the first top 10, the top 10 boats are within 10 points. So really, like you were saying, anything can happen. It's only flight 9. We have 9 more to go.
Yeah.
So we're halfway through the championship. Nice
Yes,
to
and
see
there's the
that
rest of the
Portuguese-
ranking. There we definitely see some teams who, especially KSSS, the Royal Swedish Yacht Club, they definitely expected more. They got an OCS. We had a long discussion with them before. They thought they were not over the line, but we talked to the race committee. They were definitely over. And Bordeaux Tribou, the guys who just won the race, I mean, not a perfect series for them. So this win definitely means
It's
something
lifting
for
their
them.
Spirit, yes.
Münchner Yacht Club as well, a very strong team from Munich. They are even far behind the estimated results. And Norddeutsche Regattaverein, the winner of the German league, they definitely are not happy with these results.
That's
here.
not where they would like to stay.
No, definitely not. This is a very strong team, and they had some bad luck, penalties, etc. But you know the rules are the same for all of them, and the calls of the umpires are calls. You
can't discuss.
Exactly.
And the Deutscher Touring Yacht Club, they've been up and down. They won a race, then they were last on a race, and then they're coming back as third. So we can expect anything from these guys.
Absolutely.
Maybe they like these conditions better than yesterday, a bit rough.
Yeah, it was very rough, and it was very shifty and very gusty. So I think today is much more constant. So it's still not a race where you can say it's not, no matter which side is better. It's just about speed. So they really have to be keep all the eyes open and making the right decisions. And as we saw on the last race, even the start itself is an important factor. And the leader of the first upwind after the start and the second, they had the best start and on different positions. So I was on a committee boat yesterday as well. I'm a little bit surprised how far the boats are behind the starting line.
Really?
Yeah, they are really far behind. Probably
they
it's
don't want
current.
to get OCS?
Yeah, but they are sometimes one boat length, sometimes more behind the line.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if they want to be on the safe side or if it's current. I don't know.
Yeah, and because you don't have a discard here, they also don't want to risk it.
Yeah, and it's not very often that, if one boat is over the line, which can happen, the race committee takes out the flag X. It's a white flag with a blue cross. And that means that somebody was over the line. And the teams, they have to decide on their own whether it
was them or the others.
Or the others. So it's their decision, but not very often this happens. So it's a very conservative starting procedure here. I mean, they have space enough. The starting line is long enough. There's space for everybody. There's no need to be in a pulk, where 3-4 teams want to start at the same time.
Yeah.
In bigger fleets, it happens. If you have 60 boats on the line, everybody wants to start at the leeward end of the gate
And
if
then
it's better. And then, you got
they get crowded and you get...
And here it's much closer. Like Björn said in the interview, it's much closer to match race. And this is why they have space enough, they have time enough.
And Björn had a great start.
Yeah.
But then something happened. We have to talk to him later
Yeah, we
today.
talk to him later on.
And understand what happened. And, well, Ollie, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back in about 10 minutes and remind you guys it's flight 10. So the first one of the second half of the series. We will be back soon. On day 2 of the Audi Sailing Champions League final, the constantly changing wind conditions were extremely challenging for some of the international teams.
Conditions are really tough. The wind is quite heavy and shifty, and it's really hard and challenging, and especially for us because we are a very light crew.
Currently in the lead is Club Nautico Arrecife from Spain, followed closely by Segel und Motorboot Club Uberlingen from Germany.
We try to arrive to the Final Four, but it's too difficult. There are many people, many teams with a lot of level, but we try to stay there. It's difficult, but we try.
Stay tuned for 2 more days of racing at Yacht Club Costa Smeralda and follow the action live.
From the start, we've been saying it clearly. We have to act to protect the ocean, because human life depends on it. You are never too young to make a difference. More and more people are becoming aware of how much we can do when working together, adopting behavior to defend the environment. That's why we are spreading the ocean literacy, understanding the influence that the ocean has on us and how we affect the ocean is the first step to making a difference. Because in reality, we look at the sea without seeing it. We're not concerned about what is happening underneath the waves, because those problems are out of our sight, but those are the things that are seriously changing the possibilities of life on Earth. It's the accumulation of many pollutants and plastic waste. Acidification. It's the rising temperature. It's the reduction of marine habitats and biodiversity. The ocean and human beings are inextricably intertwined, but this doesn't seem to matter. The ocean also provides livelihoods for more than 3 billion people and has a huge economic value. If it were a nation, it would be the 7th largest economy in the world. We are ocean defenders, young but very determined to act, to deal with the emergency and really change the future of the planet. Every day, we commit to communicating, educating, raising awareness through sports, promoting scientific research. Carta Smeralda is our code of ethics. We promote it to spread the commitment to protect the marine ecosystem in every activity. Only a change in each individual's behavior leads to a whole change. The knowledge of the problem leads to the awareness of wanting to change. We don't want our children to ask us in the future why we didn't do anything while we still had time. Today, although the time we have for change is running out, together we can meet this challenge.
The mighty ocean. We humans are filling it with loads of plastic garbage. 22,000 tons get dumped every single day. We humans are plundering it as if life underwater were endless. It is not. 32% of fish are caught beyond sustainability. We people are causing the most beautiful ecosystems to vanish quicker than ever before. 44% of all coral reefs are either collapsing or dead. And we are making all of this happen much too fast. But get this, it's not only about the ocean. This is about us. 3 billion people depend on marine biodiversity. We have to start with daily actions, and we better do it now, because the countdown has started, and it's ticking on our wrist.
What I like is that it's provided boats, it's all equal, it's empire on water, and it's many races, so a lot of action. I come from match racing and this is pretty similar. So I think it's a fantastic format.
I think the racing is really close. You always, because of the short courses, everybody's pretty close together and you need to fight for every meter. So it's very exciting to watch and to sail.
I think the Sailing Championship League is a great event. It's cool because women and men can sail together in a team, and it's cool to be here.
Winning obviously is the icing on the cake, but just taking part in it is fantastic.
Everyone has a great time. All of us want to come back next year.
From the start, we've been saying it clearly. We have to act to protect the ocean, because human life depends on it. You are never too young to make a difference. More and more people are becoming aware of how much we can do when working together, adopting behavior to defend the environment. That's why we are spreading the ocean literacy. Understanding the influence that the ocean has on us and how we affect the ocean is the first step to making a difference. Because in reality, we look at the sea without seeing it. We're not concerned about what is happening underneath the waves, because those problems are out of our sight, but those are the things that are seriously changing the possibilities of life on Earth. It's the accumulation of many pollutants and plastic waste. Acidification. It's the rising temperature. It's the reduction of marine habitats and biodiversity. The ocean and human beings are inextricably intertwined, but this doesn't seem to matter. The ocean also provides livelihoods for more than 3 billion people and has a huge economic value. If it were a nation, it would be the 7th largest economy in the world. We are ocean defenders, young but very determined to act, to deal with the emergency and really change the future of the planet. Every day, we commit to communicating, educating, raising awareness through sports, promoting scientific research. Carta Esmeralda is our code of ethics. We promote it to spread the commitment to protect the marine ecosystem in every activity. Only a change in each individual's behavior leads to a whole change. The knowledge of the problem leads to the awareness of wanting to change. We don't want our children to ask us in the future why we didn't do anything while we still had time. Today, although the time we have for change is running out, together we can meet this challenge.
On day 2 of the Audi Sailing Champions League final, the constantly changing wind conditions were extremely challenging for some of the international teams.
Conditions are really tough. The wind is quite heavy and shifty, and it's really hard and challenging, and especially for us because we are a very light crew.
Currently in the lead is Club Náutico Arrecife from Spain, followed closely by Segel und Motorboot Club Uberlingen from Germany.
We try to arrive to the Final Four, but it's too difficult. There are many people, many teams with a lot of level, but we try to stay there. It's difficult, but we try.
Stay tuned for 2 more days of racing at Yacht Club Costa Smeralda and follow the action live. And we're back from Porto Cervo with the Audi Sailing Champions League Final 2020. We had a short break. We are now ready with flight 10. It was really nice to see. I went up in Piazza Azzurra in Yacht Club Costa Smeralda. There were the teams actually the one off. They were watching the race live. It's so good. I mean, they cannot get enough of it.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, for them, it's interesting. Usually, we are swapping the teams on the water. This year, due to Corona, we are not able to be on the water the whole day. Usually, we have a big motorboat where all the teams are. It's very close to the race course. So for them, it's important to follow even the races which are before them, because then they're going to learn from technical decisions of the previous race. So this is why everybody is whether watching the tracking or now watching the live stream. And this is why it's not only a benefit for the spectators, for the fans are watching sailing in these beautiful conditions here in Porto Cervo. Even for the sailors here, they can follow the race live, which is great.
If you just joined us, it's Rachele Vitello here speaking and bringing you through the last 2 days of racing. And with me, it's Oliver Schwall, the founder of the Sailing Champions League. And we are about to start the second half of this whole event. So we're getting into the heating area, heating zone, right? So now every point really matter. I mean, not that it didn't until now, but even more so.
Yeah, absolutely. The closer we get to the final, the more nervous the teams are going to get, in particular the ones who are ranked underneath the top 10, because I think all of them still have the chance to qualify into the final four. We already had the discussion before how this works. The best 4 teams after 18 flights, if we're going to get all the flights in, they will be going into a final where we really start from scratch. It's all about winning a race. We have only 4 teams then on the boat. Here, by the way, we can see this finish line
of the first race of flight 10.
Exactly, which is ongoing now, and I think we will be back into the race in a couple of seconds. But until then, the Final Four system is pretty innovative and pretty new. So it's all about getting 2 wins in. The leader of the final, when we go into the final, they already got 1 win. And this will be happen tomorrow. Tomorrow we expect, by the way, beautiful weather, but unfortunately less wind. So we're going to have very, very light wind conditions tomorrow up to 8-7 knots, which is
half of what we're seeing now, because
exactly.
now we're looking at 17 knots from the north, which is great conditions for Porto Cervo and the Costa Smeralda. And we're seeing the green boat.
It's Regatta Club Oberhofen,
exactly.
who is probably winning the race. They're on the way to the finish line, follows by Hyvus Bad Club. It's a team from Sweden on place number 4. I think it's the boat, a red boat, which we're going to see now. This is the blue boat. It's the Hyvus Bad Club from Sweden, and followed by the Polish team, from the Austrian team, Segelclub TWV Achsee. They are on place number 4 or 3, followed by the Württembergische. Very, very close finish here. We can see now, I think definitely the Achsee, the Austrian guys, they are on place number 3, and Württembergische Yacht Club in pink, they are on place number 5. And then we got a Polish team getting in, PCKS from Dixit. Let me check what the crews are. Ligia Waskwa from Poland, Jakub Pawluk and Michael Smul and Markane Banasek.
Now we can see the overall, not overall, but race 1 result. And we see the Estonian team once again, closing the fleet at the moment. Like we said, they're very young, very light. And there are 2 girls on board. And this strong wind doesn't help them. But, the Oberhofen, like you said, good for them. They're well positioned.
They have a tough time here.
Yeah.
Yesterday it was really blowing. We had up to 30, sometimes 35 knots in gusts, so it was very strong. And if you have like 50 kilo less, comparison to the other teams, it's really hard to handle the boat. And this is what makes it not easy for them. And boat handling is not all of them, but it's an important factor. And these teams are very professional here. They know how to handle this boat. And if you're not familiar with the boat and too light, then it makes it really difficult for you.
Absolutely. And we've seen, we said, the handling of the boat is very important, and to understand where the wind is shifting. And we've seen today not a constant turn on the right or left. We've seen it moving around a little bit. So it's been very important for the teams out there to understand what the next shift could be from.
Absolutely. I mean, usually sometimes you have some indicators like seeing other boats sailing, but I think we are more or less alone here now at the Costa Smeralda. The season is over. There are not many sailboats sailing around. So you really have to look at the water. I mean, you can see if puffs are getting in, but what you really can't see if it shifts to the left or to the right. So this is a decision which you have to make, and we just discussed before this rhythm of the wind, that it goes from left to right and back from left to right. And if you really understand how this is working, you can make your decisions based on that.
Look
nice
at this
shot here.
Beautiful picture. Yeah.
I think this is the house where Edoardo Recchi is.
We all envy him so much for that spot up there at the entrance of the marina of the Yacht Club Costa Smeralda. This is the Gulf of Porto Cervo, and this is the beautiful
Yeah, there we can see the
Costa
race course.
Smeralda.
It's not far away from the club. The
From us?
motorboats who are getting out in, these are the teams who are getting back. They just sailed the race and they handed over the boats to the next clubs, and they are going back on shore.
Yep.
And this back and forth, in and out, is what this concept is about. So we have less boats than teams, and we are swapping the boats from race to race, and each team has at the very end the same amount of races, and they're going to meet the other clubs at the same amount of
At the
time.
same amount of time.
So this is very equal for everybody.
It's 27 teams representing 27 clubs, all from Europe this year due to the traveling restrictions around the world, and they're representing 13 nations, and they're going to be sailing 18 flights, so 72 races, and we have 7 boats. So, like we said before, every flight is comprehends 4 races. 3 of these races will be sailed by 7 teams, 1 only by 6, because we are 27 and not 28 clubs represented here. We are halfway through the whole flight, and we've looked at the provisional overall result, and we realized it's still very open because we have 10 top teams within 10 points. So the games are still open. We're going to need to see how the days unroll, and it's fun. It's fun to watch it. For us, maybe less fun for them, a bit more stressful for them because they do want to make that cut. The top 4, it's really, I mean, like we said before, club racing is really competitive.
It is competitive, and the leagues are becoming more and more professional, definitely. I mean, most of the teams are taking this really serious. For them, it's the new format to get into. Just a few of them are sailing other boat classes as well. So the level is quite high, and we can see it here. I mean, it's not that one league or one country is dominating. It's a colorful mix of, different clubs, different teams. So I'm pretty optimistic that it will be very, very interesting until the very end, and even the final tomorrow, which will be around 1 or probably 2 o'clock latest, will be a very, very interesting race.
So the next race is going to be one that we were talking about with 6 boats. We have the Russian, we have NRV, so the Norddeutsche Regatta Verein, that are all very strong teams. And we also have the second at the moment in the provisional overall, which is the Aeronautica Militare, the Italian ones. So we can actually go and have and watch the interview that we recorded with them this morning before we actually get into the racing. Centro Sportivo Aeronautica Militare is the team representing Italy this year in Porto Cervo. Today is the 3rd day of the Sailing Champions League final, sponsored by Audi. What are the conditions out there, and how do you feel representing the country we're actually sailing in?
It's been 2 very good days for sailing with medium strong wind. Tricky days because the wind was very shifty. Today probably will be more stable, but still a powerful wind day. So we are ready to do this 3rd day pretty much like yesterday and the day before.
You're sitting in the 3rd place, so that's it feels well to go on the water from the 3rd step. But, I mean, you have some big shoes to fill in because the Italians won in 2017. They did quite well the year before. So how do you feel?
Yeah, well, we started all these kind of regattas a few years ago, and we actually didn't expect to arrive so far. So we are very happy and ready to represent our country here, and we will see at the end tomorrow what we will be able to do.
Did you actually manage to get some races done, some qualifying in Italy this crazy year?
No, unfortunately no. This was the point before coming here, because we actually didn't sail this format since 1 year. So we were a little worried about it, because it's very important to sail this format to get into this kind of race. But so far, I would say that we did a good job. So we stay strong, and we'll see.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Not that I am biased, but the Italians do have a nice record in this Sailing Champions League final, because they won 2 out of the 5 previous finals. So in 2018, Circolo Vela Bari won the final. In 2017, the yacht club who's hosting this time, Yacht Club Costa Smeralda, won, and they were second the year before. And in 2014, first edition, it was Circolo Canottieri Aniene who was second. So Aeronautica Militare does have big shoes to fill in, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Italians always, you're a sailing nation. You know, you have really good sailors, and for the Champions League, the club stand at their best team, so they are a bit under pressure. But these guys did a great performance.
Absolutely.
And this race will be very interesting to see, because we have some really strong teams in. The Russian team is there. The NRV, which is usually much stronger than the performance we can see here. And the Wassersportvereinigung Himmeling, a very small club close to Hamburg, a city called Bremen in the northern part of Germany. They are even underneath the top 5. So it will be interesting to see who can finally make it.
Yes, and just to name the people on board the Italian team, which I feel comfortable on reading because it's my language. So we have the skipper and the person we interviewed this morning, which is Niccolò Bertola. Then we have Giancarlo Simeoli, Giovanni Bannetta, and Marco Balbi. They are 3 of them at least are quite young, like the skipper we've seen. And the Aeronautica Militare is actually the sports section of the how do you call it? The Air Force, the Italian Air Force. So wow. Yes, so this is they're racing all year long. Even though they said that this year was not they didn't spend much time on the water like anybody else. So we are 1 minute to the start. They're always so late in the start, like you were saying.
Well,
they're
they
not
give
in
them
a
time.
rush.
They're not in a rush. They have still 50 seconds to go. It seems to me that most of the teams will start whether close to the starting vessel or at least in the middle of the course. And, you know, they have space enough. The red and the green boat here in the front, they probably want to start definitely leeward. They are now heading towards to the middle of the course, but I'm sure they're going to tack and going to position themselves leeward to the boats which you are seeing here now. Now exactly this is happening, so they want to start leeward. In the pink boat, the boat number 2, I think this is the Wassersportvereinigung Himmeling, the guys from Bremen, which we were talking about. They prefer to start leeward. This is typical for them. They're really close to the line, much closer than before. Though 5 seconds to go, there's not much space, so I hope they can. This is a really close start. I'm not so sure if they flag us, so they can't make it.
Let's see if
that
they
was much
call
too risky.
some
Look
OCS.
at this.
Oh, boat number 2 is not.
They hit the mark,
in a
and
good
I think
place.
they will definitely get a penalty. This was really a bad start. I mean, they were counting on getting space, but it didn't happen. So this was really costly.
It was the worst start we've seen so far.
Yeah.
And we're just saying that normally they don't want to crowd any area of the line, but they definitely all wanted the pin. And now the
again,
boat
once
number 2
and a penalty as well. So this was really, really, really costly.
Yes.
The grey boat, by the way, which looks to me, when I saw the overview with the Norddeutsche Regattaverein, to me it looks a little bit that they are in controlling position. Here, the grey boat.
Okay.
They got some puffs coming in and a little bit of shift to the right. Seems to be very gusty. So far, I think it was the best start. Very far to the starting vessel. But again, it can happen that the wind shifts back to the left, and that would mean there's a benefit for the green and for the purple boat, which we can see now in the left-hand corner of the screen.
Yes, the green one are the Russian. We see them now. So from this angle, looks like also they are well positioned. But unless you're on the water, you cannot know. And we may ask some help from the tracking. which you can see.
Yeah, I can
what do you
see.
see? Yeah, the Russian
I can
are.
definitely see the Russians in the lead, and Aeronautico Militare from Italy. They are so far ranked on second position. I think this is the yellow boat.
Yes, the
They
yellow.
are controlling the fleet, and directly boat number 7 is the Norddeutsche Regattaverein. But from my point of view, looking at the boats, the Russians have the best position. With they tack now, I think they can pass.
They probably
will be
feel
close, but
comfortable.
no, they can't pass.
They made
This
a-
is bad luck.
Yeah.
This is bad luck.
Misjudged.
I think they were counting on that the Italians are going to tack
To
as
tack
well,
again
which
with
didn't
them,
happen.
sorry, yeah,
so
no.
they forced them to tack away once again, and now they have to re-tack again because I think they're more or less on the way to the ley line.
They might be doing a penalty, you know? I think they were doing it 360.
It's possible, yeah, they're doing it because they
couldn't do what they did on the
There was
Italians.
a protest from the Italians.
They had to
I-
change course.
They have to change course. They thought they can pass. They were
But they
not
could
able
not.
to pass. Immediately the decision coming from the
umpire
umpires.
on the water. Because with such short races, you cannot have protests back at shore. You have umpires on the water like in match racing, like in the America's Cup. The decisions is made right there on the water, and you can't object. You just have to follow. So what do you see now from your tracking?
Well, I mean, we can see now that, for me, it looks like that the boats from the left, the pink boat...
We can all see the tracking now,
yeah,
and
we
like you
can
were
see
saying,
tracking. There we
the
can see.
pink one,
They have a bit of an advantage. The advantage line there, you can see, they see on place number 1 STSS, the team from Sweden, the Nungske Sailing Club. Honestly speaking, let's wait and see, because usually the second half of the upwind course, usually the wind shifts a little bit to the left.
it's true.
But
we recorded that.
we will see. I mean, they are pretty close together. I would bet on the Italians, the yellow boat. They're in a very good position. When they tack, they have all the rights on their side, so they are in a very good position. And now we can see that it shifts a little bit up to the left. But underneath them, Norddeutsche Regattaverein, the German team with the Australian tactician on board.
Oh, not the skipper?
David, no, he's not
It's-
skippering. He's
okay.
a tactician. David Chapman. He's making the. He was a skipper for many events in the German league for the Norddeutsche Regattaverein.
But he's
here,
calling tactics here.
He is doing the tactics. They had a nice recovery yesterday. They lost all the crews because
Oh yeah, the line broke.
the line broke and the whole crew was in the water. They were absolutely last, and then they finished the race in third position, which was great.
Great recovery.
But
so
again,
we see, like you were saying, you were guessing right.
my prognosis was right. So Italians, a very good lead, like 1 or 2 boat lengths, followed by the NRV on second place. On third, the team
Swedish
from Sweden. It's really hard to pronounce the
Yes, I will let you
Sail
do
Club.
it.
And on fourth position, Bordet de Tribou, the guys who won the race 2 races before with a very good performance.
And now
very
we
good
see
maneuver.
the
Look at
Russian
this.
also
Wow.
finally rounding the mark after they had to take the penalty. But they're not the last ones, because the last ones, unfortunately, I'll let you pronounce it, Wassersport Verein.
Wassersportverein Himmellich.
Yeah, that's
It's
it.
really a tough one.
Yeah, it is.
But I
They're
think for
from
everybody
Berlin.
who's not German, that's really tough.
Yeah, but they're from Berlin,
From
right?
Bremen.
Bremen. Oh,
It's
Bremen.
close,
Okay.
very close to Hamburg.
Yes.
This is where they are from. For them, it's bitter because they were in the top 3. The last race here will be very costly in the overall ranking for them. And we saw the reason. I mean, they really didn't make it at the start. They couldn't pass at the pin end. So they hit the mark. There was a situation with another boat. They have to do a penalty as well. And then you're so far behind.
We're
which
seeing this very close shot of the Italian team, and we can see exactly what they're doing on board. There's a lot going on in the downwind. You can see everybody's got a line in their hands almost. So in the downwind, the skipper can actually focus just on helming the boat, right?
Well, it depends. Some skippers are doing. I mean, we had discussed with Mike the pumping thing. I mean, we can pump on each wave once to get the boat running. This is what the skipper sometimes do. Now they get overtaken by the NRV. I mean, I think it was a mix of boat handling and better position of the NRV. They definitely made it now. They are rounding the left mark
and they're
with
also
a proper
going
lead.
behind it.
Yeah, I think they will be splitting, yeah.
Oh,
and
no, they're
the
splitting,
Italians
yeah.
decide to go to the other side of the course. A bit of an advantage now for the NRV. You can see it here. The mark rounding was
Absolutely.
not really good.
But then who knows? The split might be...
It could happen, but look at where they are now already. The Italian boat, the yellow boat here, they lost like 10, 15 meters to the leeward part because the mark rounding was not so good.
Yeah.
But now it will be interesting to see the split of the fleet. So 3 boats are counting on the right-hand side and the other 3 on the left. So far, I think in terms of percentage, I would say it was more the left.
Okay.
But let's wait and see. There were some other races where the right-hand side of the course turned out to be better. The NRV already tacked, so they want to control their small but still lead. I can see it here in the sailing analytics. They are still in the lead, not far, but so far NRV leading on second. The Aeronautica
Militare,
from
and they're
Italy.
going to cover them, to control them.
Exactly.
Not that they escape.
So we lost a little bit the Russian team, I think the green boat. They are heading off to the right-hand side of the course.
Yes.
So they count on right, but there we can see the grey boat in the middle. This was the NRV. This is a nice shot here.
Very
really close shot from the sideline camera. You can see the crews are hanging out, trimming the boat.
Yes, and getting ready to tack and tacking now.
Very good boat handling from these teams.
Absolutely,
Really
they
good
did well in the first bit.
Yeah, there you can see the NRV. I mean, the split, I think.
Don't be confused by the shot, huh?
Yeah, you're right.
You never know.
The camera angles sometimes give you, but you can see there is some wind up there, on the water.
Yeah.
So the NRV, they have quite good pressure. It's not far, but I think they are in controlling position.
And then this cross, the NRV is actually the right to go, but it's not taking advantage of it, and it's just tacking.
He's tacking, and he's counting on that probably the wind will shift it a little bit back to the right. And if they tack back to round the mark, they have all right away. So I think technically a right call from the NRV, controlling the other boats, but it's not far. It will be the downwind will be. Yeah, you can see the hanging out, trimming the boat.
Yes, and going fast, huh?
Really fast. Yeah, they have.
But this is the bow of the Aeronautica Militare, so the Italian boat. So
there's the Italian boat. So it's close. So far, it looks quite good for the Italians. They got a little bit higher. Probably have a little bit more wind, but you can see there the right-hand side of the course didn't turn out. So
they're going to probably be inside on the ley line. So who knows?
Who knows? Here it looks that the Italians are controlling it, but it will be close.
It's so nice.
Even the analytics are showing me now. Yeah, absolutely. The analytics show me that
so entertaining.
They are in the lead, but it's not much.
No, of course you can see it. We can all see the
you can see the
the
line.
tracking now, and
they are there. But it's the Italians. They obviously have a better speed. It will be interesting to see if this could be the reason that they have a better boat trim and better boat speed, because they are definitely now controlling the NRV.
Another good question for later on. They're now on ley line, and like we were saying, I mean, the Italians are actually, they have a slight advantage over the German, so it will be a very nice downwind to follow, because we know that this little advantage in the downwind can be easily deleted by the runner-up.
But they are
And
following.
they
You
are
see the
trying,
NRV. They are going leeward to
yeah.
them, trying to control. I
And
think this
to-
is technically absolutely right. They want to avoid that the Italians can jibe. So
Yeah.
they are trying to control them in a way that they can decide when
What?
to jibe. And
Yeah.
then they probably have the chance to
roll them.
Exactly. To overroll them and to be in a better tactical position when it comes to the finish course. By the way, the finish we can see down there at the very end of the monitor, the catamaran, the big catamaran. This is the starting vessel and the finish boat. There's the starting line is now the finish line as well. So the Italians in the lead, but closely followed by the Norddeutsche
Very closely.
Regattaverein. And
they can't relax in that position.
No.
Absolutely not, especially not downwind.
And I think now it's important for the NAV to stay leeward to them. They want to control them.
And hope for some
hope
wind
for
to
something
come.
exactly, or one wave more.
At the moment, though, the Italians, if they want
Yes.
to jibe, I think they can.
For sure, the Italians know exactly what the NRV wants to do. So if they go down, they go even down
Yeah,
as well.
of course.
So, and I think they are making a better job. It seems to me that the NRV has a little less downwind speed, which, it looks, because now definitely the Italians are in the controlling position. They make the jibe right before the NRV. The NRV is jibing back again. No, they're doing this downwind butterfly thing, which sometimes the teams do to gain meters to leeward.
How
so
does that work?
Well, they have the main on the one side of the boat and the Jenniker of the other side. We know, older
But no
boats
jib
usually
open.
do that. But with the Jenniker, it's very unusual. But with the J70, it works
Oh,
out well.
That wasn't too good, huh?
Yeah, this is. But you need to control it, and this is
Yeah.
something they don't do. And so definitely, I think
Does it make the butterfly thing, does it make the boat a little less stable?
it makes the boat a little less stable, but you can gain meters leeward. But it will be very, very,
still very close,
Yeah, but
huh?
the Italians have definitely. It's
Yeah.
half a length.
But NRV played it well. They tried.
played it well.
They did whatever they could.
Yeah, this butterfly thing, it's if usually you have to, if you go downwind, it makes sense to have maximum speed and both sails on the same side. But if you want to gain meters to leeward, for example, to get an overlap, then it makes sense to try
have
this
the
out.
butterfly, yeah.
You have less speed, but you can go very, very deep, and this is what they try to do. So, and here we can see the finish with Wassersportvereinigung Himmeling, which is really a bitter result for them, because so far they had a really great performance. Was
Great
really,
series,
really good.
yes.
And for them now, I wouldn't say it's over, but it's very costly for them to get second
And it
points.
will not be good for their mood, for sure. We see this is the thing that we were talking about when the boats are swapping, where the teams are swapping with each other. And so the Italian team just went off the sailing boat, the J70, and went on the reefs. And they'll probably be coming here ashore. And the next team, so the team is getting ready for the next race. It's hard to explain, but it's really easy to put in reality. This is how match racing has worked for years now. You just had the clever intuition to put it into fleet racing. And it's what we're seeing now, and it works well.
Yeah,
so
we try to mix the best of both worlds. I mean, fleet racing is interesting as well. Match race, it's great what match race does for sailing, but we were trying to combine both. So small fleets, not more than 7, sometimes 8 boats on one line. This makes the racing much more interesting. Even if you round the first mark in 4th position, then you easily can win the race. If you have 40 boats and you are on the first mark on 20s, it's even tougher.
Of course.
And this is why we decided to have very short races, but more of them. And overall, we are trying to get 18 flights in. That means each club sailed, if we get all flights in, 18 races. And that's a lot for a 4-day event.
It is. So we're getting ready for race 3 of flight 10, and it will be an interesting one because we're going to have Club Nautico Arrecife, the actual leader of the series, and then we're going to have Bjorn Hansen, who's coming from a bed last race, and then we're going to have the Finnish. I will let you pronounce that.
The Finnish.
OSS. This is all I can say.
I will try to pronounce it. This could be funny for all the Finnish
people
fans.
watching.
But that's it's Alenska Segelsportcuppet.
Okay.
Once again. Alenska Segelsportcuppet. ASS.
Nice. I think I couldn't have done it better. Then we're going to have the French team, APCC Wal Sportive. We've seen them in a couple of races before. They didn't do too bad, actually. But I'm really curious to see if Bjorn Hansen is going to be able to recover from the last bad race.
Yeah, definitely. And there's another interesting team, the KDY, the Royal Danish Yacht Club. I mean, they are currently on 7th position, but still definitely in a position where if they have a good race now, to be qualified underneath the top 4. Very strong team. I could see them yesterday on the water when it was blowing. Very good boat control. I think it's a very experienced match racer. The skipper, Henrik Jensen, with his team Henning Lambertsen and Jeppe Black-Lundahl and Thomas Hartwig. The Royal Danish Yacht Club is a very strong club. I think they won the Danish League like the fifth or fourth time, I don't know. So very, very strong. And he is a very experienced skipper. So I think he met all the match racers who are here, like Carsten Kemmeling and Björn Hansen, very often in all these great match race events.
We can see that the wind out there is nice and strong. Don't we envy them out there? Huh?
Yeah, it's nice sailing now.
Today.
That's really champagne sailing,
Yes.
definitely. You have really strong and stable wind conditions. Waves are okay, very protected here in this bay. And
when it comes from the north, it's not too wavy.
But it's choppy, you know. It's not easy. It's not like sailing on a lake. There's a big difference for all the teams who are usually sailing on lakes. But look at the landscape here. It's beautiful. It's so nice sailing in Porto Cervo, in particular, in these conditions.
And these clouds, they look like a Magritte picture. And if you think we started this morning with a totally gray sky, and we look at it now, and it's like paradise, and makes you really want to go out there and race. 3 minutes to the start, so it's good that we start watching and looking at the conditions out there. We are getting a very nice shot from the camera on the water. We're seeing the umpires, the reefs, and this is the committee boat. Oh, there's API flag up.
Okay.
So either was a big shift.
Whatever happens, probably they need to repair a boat. Possible. Yes, I think this is the reason.
Okay, so yeah, we see the rigging boat.
Yeah, this is a very, very fair deal from the race committee, because, I mean, usually if you take over the boats and the start was already happened, unfortunately, it's bad luck for the team, because after they started the race and then a repair call, then it's bad luck for you. In this case, they decided to hoist AP. That means the race is postponed. And probably some issues with the jib. Let's wait and see what's going to happen, but it will take some time.
Is it a jib? Yeah, it's probably. But we have some time then to watch an interview. It's with a German sailor, is Michael Zittau. Probably you say it differently.
Yeah, it's
you
good,
probably
very
say
good.
It better.
Michael Zittau, yes.
Michael, you say?
Yeah, Michael, yeah.
Michael Zittau. So, we'll be back.
Third time for Uberlingen Yacht Club from Germany to the Sailing Champions League finals. And this year it seems to be the best year so far for you guys. What has changed?
So this year was quite complex and difficult to make it possible. So we had quite a challenge to come here to Sardinia. You know how the world is right now. So, but we made the best of it. We even thought about cancelling it last week. So it was a last-minute decision to come here. And so we took it like from as a challenge. Had like a good preparation here a day before in Sardinia, and we have a great team spirit, and that made the difference this year.
So in Germany, of course, this Sailing Champions League has been there for longer than other countries. And how do you like it?
It's an amazing possibility to race against the best clubs from all over Europe, and so that's what we like the most, because it's really a different kind of setup. Now in the German league, you know the teams, you know how they are racing, and here it's different. There's a different style of racing, different style of tactics, different style of managing the boat. So you can also learn from the other clubs, and you can also make them sweat on the water, because they don't know you. It's pretty fun to race against the other teams.
So here at the final goal for everybody is to make the top 4 teams and go in the super final. How do you plan on achieving that?
So we take race by race because it's a really long run. It's like a marathon until Sunday. So we have now 6 flights in, 6 races. So we managed to be on the top in nearly kind of every race. So we also had some luck because there were a lot of damages the last days with other teams. We had good luck that we weren't like had like this issue with the belts on the boat. So yeah, we just take it race by race and see where we land.
And this was Michael Zittler from Segel und Motorbootclub Uberlingen.
Very good.
Another German sailor from the south, and they are doing quite well. But we're also, this is a nice shot also. We're seeing...
Well, that's a nice shot, but it's not so nice for the racing because it's the repair team trying to... Oh, no, it was one of the crew. I think they worked on it, but it seems to be solved. Probably something with the jib roll or with the block on the jib, probably some issues. I mean, you can see it's blowing hard. Yeah. I mean, the material and the boats and the sails are really under pressure, under stress. So
when it's this windy, it's really stressful.
Yeah, and it's picking up the wind. I mean, much more than they prognosed. I expected less wind than yesterday, but it seems to me that we have like constantly around 17. I can see it in the analytics, by the way. I can see that we currently have 18 knots of wind, 19 up to 20, 21. So
beautiful.
Champagne sailing, as I said.
Yes,
I mean,
it's beautiful.
There's nothing more you can expect.
And you can see it from the white wash on top of the wave.
This is the spare boat, by the way. We have one boat in spare. If one boat is so badly damaged that you can't sail with them anymore, then we have a spare boat on the water. Oh, this is an interesting shot.
Yeah, well, gives you some...
Wow, and this was like roller coaster.
So we remind the people that the wind is coming from northwest. So it's basically Mistral.
Yeah, but it looks from the drone perspective, always look that there's no wind. But the closer you get to the water, the more you can see that it's really tough conditions. And we can see it now when the start is happening that the teams are really fighting. And Michael Ilbert mentioned that the way of the league teams are handling the boat, that you give so much more to the hand of the skipper because he has to skipper the boat upwind, and he has to do the traveler and the main. Under class rules, J70 class rules, it's different. That you have always just a skipper concentrating on skippering the boat, and one guy is handling main sheet and traveler. But here he's doing both because they want to have all the kilos, the whole crew
out
to
rails.
Keep the boat flat. Exactly.
So the starting procedures actually are on. We have 2 minutes 30 to go, so still plenty of time. But it's going to be interesting, ever-changing conditions. Like you said, it's about 20 knots out there. It's the strongest wind we've seen so far. And how that will affect the racing strategies and tactics, you think?
Well, I think every as Michael said in the interview before, take it race by race, and there is definitely a small trend, and I'm pretty sure that the sailors are observing the trend, whether it's the left-hand side of the course, or even if you go and if you decide that starting on the left-hand side is better, and statistically most of the teams who did that are in controlling position. So there are a lot of factors, and even if some clouds are getting back, they will have impact on the wind direction and the wind strength. So there are a lot of factors you need to look at. By the way, one interesting team is sailing here as well, the one who are controlling currently the overall lead, which is the team from Spain.
Yeah.
They are, I think, overall they have now 19 points, and in comparison to the Italians who have 23. So for them it's an important race. If they finish first or second, they still have a proper lead of 5 points.
Or they could lose.
Or they could lose, exactly. Or they could lose.
So it's an important race for them.
And they will be on the blue boat, so probably you're going to see them after the start, which is going to happen in 1 minute.
Yeah, we can see it now. We can see the flags are really 90 degrees angle.
Yeah, there we can see that it's blowing there. We have currently more than 20 knots, 22 knots. Yeah. It seems to me most of them want to start again, whether in the middle or closer to the starting vessel, the line. For all our spectators who are not so familiar with sailing, the starting line is between the orange flag and the starting vessel, and they are not allowed to pass this line before 0.
And we are about 20 seconds to go before they can actually cross that imaginary line between the two flags. And like you were saying, they're taking their times. They want to be close to the committee boat, most of them. They're hiding behind it. 5 seconds, 3. Wow, the green boat is, if they're not OCS, they had a great start.
I think it was a great start. Otherwise, they would have hoisted a flag at the starting whistle, which they call flag X. It's a white flag with a blue cross, but I think they're all clear. But you're absolutely right. Fantastic start of the green boat, which is Yacht Club Hart from Austria.
Austria. The Danish is second, actually.
Yes, second is, it's clean start. You can see there's no flag.
No flag up there.
And here we can see all the umpires.
Yes.
You have 4 umpires. They are following the race. Here we can see them. They are positioned in a way that they control every situation.
They're coming from all over the world, actually Europe, because of the restrictions. One is Luigi Bertini from Italy. Is a very nice guy, and they're all very nice guys.
Yeah, they're really professional. I mean, it's a tough job for them, being on the water the whole day.
Especially yesterday, it was cold and raining.
Yeah, and you're making calls the sailors don't like.
Don't like, yes. You're not the most liked person on the race course.
If you give green, then yes, but very often they have to give red, and but you know they take red. Look how
at
close
nice
it is.
Shot. They're
nice
all
shot.
so close.
It's so close. It's so close.
Beautiful. The only different one is the pink boat, number 5, the French one. APCC and Wal Sportif, and they're going.
Yeah, they're going to the
right.
right.
Yeah, they should know a thing or two about Mistral from France.
They should definitely.
Yeah. But
nice shot from the sideline camera, definitely, and it's beautiful sailing. Now they're all tacking away. The trend was a little bit that the boats who start in the middle, they have a bit of an advantage now, and now it turns out to, you know, which side is really better. Whether the wind is coming from the left, so the boat in front of us, boat number 2, which is the Royal Danish Yacht Club, they decided to go far, far to the left-hand side of the course, which is statistically, as far as I overview all the races,
you are the
better.
math guy.
But sometimes it can happen that there's a right shift or a little bit more pressure on the right-hand side of the course. But here we can see the Danish team hanging out. Very good team, very
good team.
Strong match racer, as I mentioned.
And big guys as well, which is something that will help you with this 20
knots. They have power. Henrik Jensen, Henning Lambertsen, Jeppe Blacklundal, and Thomas Hartwig. They're heavy, I think.
Big guys, yes.
They are big guys, and yesterday when it was blowing, they are really controlling the boat.
But look, we take it for what it means now, but Club Nautica Recife is not far behind.
Yeah.
So like we said, we have to watch how they end, because that can change the overall result.
But yeah, on the yellow boat, the Segel- und Motorboot Club Überling, a very good controlling position.
Absolutely.
The trend, as I said, is a little lefty, so the boats on the left have a small advantage. So this is why Royal Danish Yacht Club is in the lead now. Here we can see it very nice from the drone shot.
Yeah.
They have more wind, a little left shift, and this is why they are controlling. It can change, but to me it looks as if the left-hand side was definitely
even
again
though
in this
Club
case.
Nautico Arrecife being in the middle of the fleet, it can, like we said earlier, it can play the shift better, less risk.
Yeah,
in
that's
that
true.
position.
Absolutely. I mean, the risk is now if you go extreme to one side, it has to pay off.
Or you're out of the game.
Or you're out. It's in or out. If you're in the middle, probably you can't. Probably you're not the leader, but you definitely can make it to the top 2 or top 3.
And maybe in the Club Nautica Recife boat, they thought about the provisional overall, and they thought they wanted to protect
now it
that.
comes. Here's the
But
split.
we are.
Now
Yes.
the question is, can KDY cross? I think they can. They have good pressure.
It depends who puts
No,
the
they
note
can't cross.
on.
So
No,
I have
no,
to
no, no.
pass behind the first boat and probably the second as well. Now they are attacking it.
Wow.
Wow, this will definitely be. This
Some
will
work
give a
for
call.
the umpires.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
So they're doing this 360 immediately. They don't wait for the call.
Yeah. They
So
know
this was
they
really
were
bad
wrong.
luck for them.
Yeah.
But however, let's concentrate on the leader. Currently, the Swedish guy, Kunkle Segelsällskapet, they are back, and these guys, it was tough for KDY, but they now have a proper lead. The guys from Sweden, like I would say 20, 30 meters.
I think the
directly followed by the
Spanish,
Segel- und Motorboot Club Überling, the Germans.
And I think the Spanish, I mean, it's not my opinion. I mean, the Spanish are still there, so they will have a bad race. I don't exactly remember what happened to the Spanish. They were...
And then, kind of picked in the middle, from the left, the other boats came, and then there was a little shift to the right back, and it was so close. Look at KDY, they lost so many meters with this maneuver. And now it's really blowing. You can see the boats are flying down. Now it's all about boat control as well. This is a nice drone shot here. You can see how they're really struggling to get the Ginnaker back on track. Now they are here. They go downwind with the jib, so they can see there's a big pressure, and they're heading down to the leeward
it will
gate.
also be about the team's seamanship and how they can control the boat in this strong wind and bigger sea state, because the waves are a little bit.
Yeah, KSSS in English, it's a Royal Swedish Yacht Club. They are a proper lead. I think for Björn Hansen
is getting back from.
It's getting back, so it will motivate him. He was pretty frustrated,
about
particularly
the
after the race, and then he got a penalty. No, not a penalty. He got a disqualification for pre-start. So but
he
leading,
wanted to show that he can do it.
he wants to exactly. He was in the match race mode. He wanted to take the tracking as an example. He wanted to prove that he was not over the line, but
But still, we don't have that in sailing.
No, we don't have that in sailing.
The race committee word is the last word.
Like the calls of the umpire on the water, if they see a situation and they make a call, then this is the decision, and the sailors have to accept it.
Whoa, the Spanish don't like this
really
strong breeze.
Yeah. I'm surprised, because so far they really made it good. This makes everything open again. So for Überling, it's a very good result, because the distance to the leaders are getting closer. Wassersportvereinigung Hemeling, the two races before, they failed. They finished last. And now for Überling, they are in pretty good position. But again, the points that, or the distance between the leading teams and the leading team from Spain and the others is quite high. So I think after all they are still in the lead. But let's see.
Yes.
So again, a split. We can see three teams decided to head off to the right-hand side of the course. Royal Swedish Yacht Club, Björn Hansen and his team, they decided to go to the right side. They are still leading. You can see 30 meters, followed by the Royal Danish Yacht Club on second position, and on third place now, Segel- und Motorboot Club Überling.
I think Björn Hansen just stacked to control. This is what you do when you're leading. You want to choose what side to go to, but also you have to watch behind you and not let anybody escape you. Look, they look pretty happy, huh? They're enjoying the race.
They're enjoying the race. They're controlling the KDY, which is the red boat following them. So this is a very good controlling position. And they are still a small but a lead against the German from Überling, Club Überling, which are on the yellow boat we can't see, but they are like a couple of meters behind them. There we can see.
There we have them.
Very close match between Royal Danish Yacht Club and Überling. Now Überling is tacking in front of them.
Cross.
These are boat number 2 and boat number 3. On the left we can see Royal Danish Yacht Club. On the right, Segel- und Motorboot Club Überling. Now KDY is tacking away.
The Danish are going away. Probably the German will follow soon. Depends how far they are from the mark.
But look at Royal Swedish Yacht Club. I mean,
it's going. Huh?
Yeah, they are constantly going. And I think the trend we've discussed before, the left-hand side of the course, probably I have to change it. Because he made his meters definitely on the right-hand side of the course. It looks
and
better.
how sad it is to look at the Spanish club.
Yeah, that's bad.
In the
for them.
last position,
Yeah.
200 meters behind the leader. But I mean, this is yacht racing.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
I think KSSS, Royal Swedish Yacht Club, they are now on the ley line. That means after this tag, they can directly go to the first upwind mark, which we can see there. And then the question is between Royal Danish Yacht Club, the red boat, and the yellow
Segel,
boat,
yeah.
Bodenio Yacht Club Überling, very close together. But Royal Swedish Yacht Club, if there nothing really bad is happening, like maneuver or any damage, they definitely should make it to the finish.
And we saw that they can handle the boat very well downwind with strong winds. And
oh, guys, this is a very slow maneuver.
That was slow.
He's still sleeping. As I said, if nothing bad happened, oh my God, guys, they are very unprepared. Oh
but
my
also
God.
in that position, you have the boats coming
This
up.
was costly. Okay, now they are back.
It depends on Segel and motorboat.
Yeah, they are still
Überlingen.
leading, but this was costly, definitely. This was costly for Björn
And
Hansen
still,
and
they're
his
not
team.
completely set up. Okay, we'll see how they do now. And
Yeah,
if
they are
can't
still
keep-
leading, but we will see the Royal Danish Yacht Club. They're going
gonna
much
push.
deeper. They are pushing them. The question is now, is Royal Swedish Yacht Club able to jibe? Because if they jibe, Royal Danish Yacht Club has all the rights. So they are on starboard. They definitely can make the call whether Royal Swedish Yacht Club is able to jibe or not. This was a costly thing. I mean, it was just a maneuver of the Janaker. Without that, I'm pretty sure nobody would have seen them anymore. Here we can see. If they're going to jibe now, heading towards the finish line, can they cross Royal Danish Yacht Club, the red boat? Now they are jibing, and now this is the important situation.
very important. And they
So
didn't
KDY,
manage too
no,
well.
they
No,
can't
they
make it.
lost
So
it.
they
lost it.
Yeah.
They lost the leadership. And did you see in third position there's the grey boat, the
Yeah,
finish.
the finish they
so
got back.
something happened to
Yeah.
Überlinger. How do you say?
Überlingen, yes.
Überlinger. We don't see them anymore. So it's a three-boat arrival. We'll have to see.
Wow, I mean, this was an interesting race. I mean, look at that. I mean, I'm definitely the Royal Danish Yacht Club will make it, but Björn Hansen and his team, they can't be happy. It was
No,
all
they
about
lost.
handling the boat. It was not a tactical decision.
A solid leadership. They lost a solid leadership.
Yeah. Now KDY is in. It's close,
Well
but they
done
made
to
it.
the
Look at them.
Danish. Well done
Yeah.
to the Danish.
Very good. But the Finns are back. I mean,
Yeah, it's a Scandi podium this
and
race.
Überling is back on place number 4, so that's tough for them. But you can see these guys are really happy now, and they are back in the game. Overall, they are now third, which is a very, very good result. So
Überlinger is actually third, so something
okay,
was wrong with.
probably it probably was very close, and
And it was very on the left, probably left.
Again, the tracking is pretty accurate, but not sometimes not accurate enough. And then the race committee, they have
A better view of the
better
thing.
view, and
Yeah,
then they change the results immediately.
But still, a very nice race.
Yeah, this was really interesting racing. I mean,
It shows you how a mistake can actually take
Exactly.
you from being the leader to.
but they're doing the Danish guys are doing a really good job. Even as I said yesterday, when we have much more wind than today, up to 30 knots, they are really controlling the boat. They don't make any mistakes. And here, I think this is the Club Nautico.
Arrecife. This is
For
a
them,
sad
it's really a
shot.
better race.
And I think we're going to go and see how this will affect them on the overall, even though Flight 10 still needs to be
There's
completed.
one more race, and then all teams have the same amount of races, and then the overall ranking is
Will make
representative.
sense. But the Spanish and the Italian now have the same exact number of races.
Exactly.
So we can see the two of them. I think 19 points for the Spanish and 23 for Aeronautica Militare. Exactly, who is now leading.
Exactly.
So too bad for the Spanish, who are now sitting in fourth position.
on fourth position with 26
Yeah,
points, and
they have two boats in between
and
the
two,
leader.
and interesting enough, two Swiss
Two
teams,
Swiss teams.
are on second and
Who
third
would have
position.
thought?
But one of them, the Seglervereinigung Kreuzlingen, They have to have one more race, and they already have 24 points. So they will definitely
be out
of the top 3. But again, the game is completely open. I mean, remember that we had a situation where Wassersportvereinigung Hemmelingen was more or less in final position, and now they had it with the 6th place. They are back. But again, everything can happen. 28 points from place number 8 to 24, place number 2, and 23 to the leaders from Italy. It's nothing, you know.
Nothing.
After 3 races, it can change completely.
Yeah.
So every race counts. No discard. Everything is open, but yeah, that's interesting. Even the Russians still have a really realistic
very
chance.
close. Yeah, absolutely.
And KDY, if they look at the series, you know, third, second, first, if they continue like this, we definitely will see them in the final.
Absolutely. And like you said, I mean, Segel und Motorboot Club Oberlinger, they needed its 3rd place, and they are right there. And I mean, they're even point with Club Nautico Arrecife that was leading the series until the last race. So it's really nice. It's really nice. And they will, like you say, today will go on for long until 6:30 at least. So many flights will be sailed, and tomorrow morning we'll find a different scenario when we'll be back live.
Yes, what my expectations are, I mean, we planned to have 18 flights. Honestly speaking, I don't see that we are going to make it. So we can be happy if we get 2 more flights today. It's already 3:30, so that we will have 12 flights today. Tomorrow, probably 2 or 3 more flights. Then we have 13. If we are lucky, 14 flights, and then we go into the finals. Because tomorrow we expect light winds, like 7 to 9 knots.
So
same
races
wind
are
direction,
longer, yeah.
But we have the same choppy waves, so it will be interesting sailing tomorrow. Look at the waves here, and they will be even there tomorrow.
Maybe even choppier.
And then
Who
no
knows?
wind. So, but it's another game, you know. Even this can change a lot. If you have low wind, some crews are lighter, some crews are better in boat handling in lighter wind conditions. So, but this makes a complete sailor.
Yes, and all these races, all this fast competition, it's what the sailors like. There's no room for getting bored out there. And
No,
it's on the boat, off the boat,
Yeah.
upwind, downwind, rounding the mark, looking for the boat behind you who can roll you. We've seen many rolls
Yeah,
in the
absolutely.
downwind.
A lot of changes and a lot of up and downs. And even the last race with Björn Hansen and Royal Swedish Yacht Club, this was, I mean, everything can happen. You have a lead of 30 meters, and all of a sudden it's nothing,
You
and
don't
the
have
others
anymore.
are back. So this is what really makes it so interesting.
It is. It keeps you there watching. So it's not always about the flying boats, like I like to say, because I mean it's interesting also to have the flying boats on the foils, but having close races like this and fast games is also very, very nice to watch, and even more so to be on the sailing boat and try to give your best shot. So we're about 4 minutes to the last race of flight 10.
4 minutes. Probably we should 4 more minutes. Let's take our time and step into the next clubs that we can address you. Which clubs are here? So,
so
it's the CVDS. Let me double check the club.
It's
We
the
do sailing from
Portuguese, yeah.
Portugal with Thiago Moraes, Manuel Tuna, Diago Machando, and Nuno Bianchi on the boat.
Yes. Then we have the Polish boat, Legia Warszawa.
Yes.
But I will not
I have
read
that here.
the
I have
people.
this on the list. It's Jacob Pavluk, Mikel Smul, Markain Banacek, and one more crew, which we don't have the name because was a bad injury yesterday. He broke his shoulder on the
really?
water. Yeah, he was in hospital in Olbia. So they have to find a new crew. This was the story yesterday.
Did they find it? I
Yeah,
mean,
they found a new crew, but we
they
don't
found
have
a
the
new
name.
crew.
Yeah.
Is it Italian? A local
I think
crew.
or he recovered. I'm not 100%
okay.
sure.
We
But
will ask.
he was in hospital yesterday.
And then we have the Deutscher Touring Yacht Club,
Yeah.
the one that did so well in the previous races.
Yes, Then we have the Mühlenberger Segelclub. It's a club from Hamburg, Mühlenberg, very part of Hamburg. Then we have the SVKR, which is the Seglervereinigung Kreuzlingen from Switzerland. And we have the Munich Yacht Club, Münchener Yacht Club, and another German team from Berlin, the Verein Seglerhaus am Wannsee. So there are 1 minute and 20 seconds to go. These are the teams.
So it's actually 4 German boats in this race. It will be a race within the race.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
them.
definitely.
They know each other. And I'm curious to see how the Portuguese will do, because they didn't do too bad in the last race they had. This is a look at the committee boat. 1 minute to go. Looks very windy. They look quite cold on that committee boat because the sun is shining, and it is warmer than yesterday, but still it is October, and they're Italians, so for them they're not used to this.
They're only familiar to sail with short trousers and t-shirt. We know that.
They don't like the wetsuit.
Totally the opposite to Norway and Sweden.
Yes, yes.
Where this is what we have is like best
That's
summer.
It's the best one.
But the
Best
same in Germany, by
conditions.
the way.
Yeah, so 20 seconds. Nice, very nice angle. We see the boats getting ready. The whole fleet is behind the race committee. Actually, boat number 2 is the only one going towards the pin.
Look how far behind
3
they are.
seconds. And
now
they're
start.
off.
Look at boat number 2. I mean, this was
Yeah,
really
that
a
was
bad
late.
start. That was really late.
It was.
But a good start for boat number 5,
The
definitely.
Swiss.
The Swiss team, Kreuzlingen, and even Deutsche Touring Yacht Club, the yellow boat. We can see that up there. A very nice start. I think it was better. It looks to me a little bit that the right-hand side of the starting line, which is the starting committee, was a little bit in advantage. This is why the boats who started there so far in a controlling position. But I think the pink boat here, Kreuzling, very good start. And if the wind shifts a little bit to the left, I think they are definitely in the pole position.
Yeah, the Berliner are also going strongly on the left.
Yeah. But you can see they can't sail as high. That there's a little
less pressure.
Exactly. They have a little shift to the left, what the others don't have. Here we can see the Verein Seglerhaus am Wannsee. Far behind their usual performance. They are definitely not happy with who's on board. Elias Rothe, Max Salzwedel, Karl Naumann und Julian Bergmann. So these are the crews from Verein Seglerhaus am Wannsee. Now
So this is-
tacking.
Yeah, they don't want to go even
Too
more
far,
left
yeah.
than what they already were. So they're going back in. Nice to see that Deutsche Touring
Yeah.
Yacht Club is doing.
Yeah, they are doing a good job. Deutsche Touring Yacht Club,
Again,
yellow boat. But
yeah.
again, I think the leaders of the pack so far are pink and yellow. Kreuzling and Deutsche Touring Yacht Club. Now, this is Kreuzling. They are tacking. And I'm pretty sure that the other boats are going to follow. Now the leaderboard shows
Maybe
the
the-
right-hand
yeah,
side is better.
a
But
big
let's wait and
shift.
see. Let's
Exactly,
wait and
we have
see.
to wait. But looks like they might have had a right shift. Now looking at the water, I can see maybe
right.
possibly some pressure up there
Absolutely.
in the screen.
Absolutely. This is something that the sailors can't see. They would
I
like to have
know.
it. So sometimes they like to have a drone perspective.
It would be nice for them, and it's so easy for us.
Yeah.
We can be the good guys who always know where the wind is going.
Yeah, here we can see a big split. So half of the fleet left, rest of the fleet right. 7 boats, and we will see what worked out. The leaderboard so far shows the Portugal guys on the far right-hand side of the course, the blue boat in the leading position. But the closer we get to the mark, the more I assume that the left-hand side will come back, as we now can see with.
It's been like that so far.
Yeah. Seglervereinigung Kreuzling, here the pink boat, and even the Verein Seglerhaus am Wannsee, the grey boat. I think they will be underneath the top 3 at least as well when the left-hand side is getting back. But even the Polish team, not so bad.
Not so bad at all. And the Club, we do say in the Portuguese, it's nice for them because it's the first time that they are actually racing at the Sailing Champions League final. And they're such a nice young team, huh?
Absolutely, absolutely.
But the tracking is showing even more changes. So like we said before, let's wait until we get to the mark and see who's actually
Well, we had the
leading.
race with the Swedish team, Royal Swedish Yacht Club. They made it over the right-hand side of the course 2 times. Fortunately, they didn't make it downwind with the bad maneuver, but this was the upwind where the right-hand side of the course was better. But now we can see Kreuzling is crossing. They definitely, and even the Verein Seeglaus am Wand, they are still in the game. So it's Kreuzling, Deutsche Touring, and Wannsee, the young team from Berlin, heading towards the first mark. I think it will be the white one.
And the right
or the
actually
yellow.
didn't
No, they
pay
go for the
in
yellow
end.
one, right? No, they go for the
They
yellow
go
one.
for the yellow, yes.
Which is good now for the Verein Seeglaus am Wannsee and the Deutsche Touring Yacht Club.
Look at them confidently rounding
good
in
lead.
first place, followed by the Deutsche Touring,
and then the guys from Berlin.
the Berlin guys. And
Nice shot here.
Very nice.
But it's still very close. Everything can happen. I mean, when
look at
one
the
puff is coming
boat
from the
number
back.
6.
Yeah,
A very close round.
Yeah.
The Münchner.
good overlap, and even the green boat, they didn't even get the spinnaker up yet. So this is
The
costly.
Portuguese that were on the right.
Yeah.
In the end, they rounded last.
But look at Kreuzling. They already have like 45 meters lead, which is great. I mean, look at that. And here we can see Deutsche Touring Yacht Club and Verein Seeglaus am Wannsee, boat number 2 and boat number 3. But even there you can see how the Berlin guys are getting leeward to them. They don't even want to control the jibe. They don't want the other Germans to jibe, but it doesn't really work out. And here the guys from Switzerland, they already jibed. They have a proper lead.
They can do whatever they want.
They
They're
can
free
do what
to
they want. And even now, you know, the rich get richer. Now they can decide which gate they take and which part of the course. I would go back to the left-hand side again. It turned out to be a little bit safer, but you never know. I mean, we don't see everything here. I mean, they have much more views on the water than we here in the studio.
Absolutely.
Nice jibe. So Touring still on second,
You
followed
can
by
see it's getting harder to jibe and maneuver downwind with 20 knots, which is now actually the trucker says it's a little less than 20 knots.
Yeah, 15 knots, 20 knots. So we have wind measurement devices on the starting vessel. So we have quite accurate wind data here. Now Kreuzling is putting down the Jenneker, but it's much closer than I thought. Look at Touring, they got much closer.
I think they did a nice downwind.
Okay, as I mentioned, they decide to go to the left-hand side of the course, and again they split. So Touring decides to go to the right. They want to do something. I mean, they are in good controlling position. They have space enough. I don't know if they really go too far. Probably they go through the middle because at the very end, Kreuzling, they made it over the left-hand side of the course. And even Touring, they made all their gains on the left. So there must be a reason to go extremely to the other side of the course. Or they decide not to do and they tack, controlling the rest of the fleet, which is probably the less riskiest decision now.
Sure,
but you never know. Probably there is
yeah.
wind shift. Probably there is
they
more
must
wind
have
on the
seen
right-hand side of
something.
the... Now they're already...
They're on the
okay.
same side.
But they have good pressure up there. Can you see it? I mean,
I
it looks
absolutely
quite
see
good.
it. And they're in
They have
control.
They have more wind than the guys
The
from
Deutsche
Kreuzling.
Touring Yacht Club people are
Very good call to go through the middle.
had a great call.
Very good.
But it's very even, huh?
Yeah,
very
it is.
even.
And again, you
So-
never know how it ends. You know, it can always be a small, like 50 degrees shift back to the left, and then the gains from Touring is over. Now the tracking sees them in a small lead, like 2-6 meters, but it's more or less equal.
The next shift will decide.
So what do you think?
Huh. Tough
Let's
question.
make a bet.
So I wouldn't want to be on the water at the moment.
Because it's wet.
Yeah, no, because it's difficult. But I would just go with my instinct and also with my heart. And I would say the Deutscher Touring Yacht Club, because they did so well, and because they were not among the favorites. I think they will.
They deserve it at least.
Yes, I want them to do well.
Well, I think it will be really close. I think that when it comes to crossing, they are in the lead definitely, and the downwind will decide. But I agree. I would count on Deutsche Touring as well. But it's close. I know you can see it's changed, the tracking changed. There must be a shift to the left.
The Deutscher Touring Yacht Club, they would have a starboard advantage, but I don't know if they're close enough to use it. I think they're way behind.
They can cross.
Yeah.
So again, left-hand side turned out to be better. I mean, there was a clear split. There was equal at the leeward gate. They rounded the mark at the same time. Touring was heading off to the right-hand side of the course and tried to attack the guys from Switzerland, but it didn't work out.
But then we also seen that these less than 30 meters at the top mark, they're not enough to secure your first with the downwind. So 30 meters in the downwind, they don't put you in a safe position.
No, particularly not in these conditions when it's very gusty. So there are a lot of puffs coming in, and they're at the downwind. They're coming from the back. So that means the boats who are behind them, they get the wind earlier.
First. Yes.
This can happen, but it could be the other way around. If the Swiss guys are getting a puff now and they are flying away, then they have all the advantage on their side.
It's very difficult for the Germans. So I wonder where is this taking the Swiss in the provisional, in the overall. We'll see.
I'm sure we're going to see it later on. Let's switch on to this later, but it will open. I mean, everything what happened now will open up and reopen up the overall ranking,
so
which is good. Here we can see Touring.
The German. Very young guys.
Yeah, but very talented sailors. Yeah. Julian Stückel with his sister Lena, and Paul Motwurf and his brother Fester.
The Berliner are third.
No, Ole, sorry,
but
Ole
very
Fester.
Close by the Munich boat. So it is a north-south competition there.
It is. But the guys from Berlin, Verein Siglaus and Van, they have to be careful because they are followed directly followed by the pink boat,
which
Munich. Is the Munich Yacht Club, and you can see there's already a fight going on. They go up, they have good pressure.
Is there competition normally between Berlin and Munich, like there is between Milano and Roma?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, honestly speaking, this is what the heart of league sailing is. It's a kind of battle of the cities.
Yes.
And here you can see Munich.
Oh gosh, look
very
at Munich.
Good job.
Munich
they got the overlap.
Yes.
Now they are in control position. They can sail.
They can take them away.
Exactly,
and
that's what they are
whenever
doing.
They feel like.
Now they can jibe earlier. What they are doing. And Verein Siglaus and Wannsee is still going. This is that's pretty risky because if there's a little bit more wind getting in, I think they're gonna make it to the finish line.
They could have waited a little bit. And this is the battle for top place. I think it's a battle already won by the Swiss, but still well played by the Deutscher Touring Yacht Club. Where are they from, the Deutscher Touring Yacht Club?
They are. It's near to Munich, and there's a very beautiful lake, Lake Starnberg.
Oh, it's where you had the qualifier.
Exactly, where the first, where the qualifier for the Champions League happened. Here we can see Touring. It was pretty close. Look at this. It was dangerous.
Close.
Oh no!
Oh gosh!
Berlin is back.
Yeah,
Look at this.
Berlin got it.
Wow!
Got the third spot.
Wow, we lost them.
Well played.
Wow!
I told you that the pink boat probably jibed too soon. They had to wait a little bit.
Exactly, this happened.
There's not a match race on board, probably.
No. Wow, this was really.
And look, the boat's coming from
they have more pressure.
Right,
yeah,
which is the left side of the course, are actually coming in faster.
Well, this was an interesting race. Unfortunately, our friends from Portugal
they didn't make it.
They didn't make it. For them, it's bitter as well. I mean, but again, this will open up the whole leaderboard once again. So everything is open. So many clubs can make it, and I'm not so sure if we already prepared an overall leaderboard. That will be interesting to see, because now all teams got the same amount of races.
Yeah, look at the Portuguese.
And then, yeah, they're frustrated for sure.
Yeah, so they're trying to keep their morale up.
Yeah, this is even so important. You have to forget the race.
Okay,
so this is the ranking.
Overall. I don't. Is it updated?
It is up.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's updated. Yeah.
Because the Swiss.
The Swiss, yes.
They were 24 points.
Yeah.
We said probably they will be out of the top 3, but they won.
They won.
So they're actually in.
They're still in.
Wow.
No, this is updated. They have all the same races, and Aeronautico Militar, they are 1 point leading. Second, Regatta Club Oberhofen from Switzerland, another Swiss team, Segelvereinigung Kreuzlingen. They won the last races both. And then the guys from Spain, Aeronautico Arrecife.
And then we have the Russian with Akhmat National Sailing
Club.
Something.
Let's say club.
Yeah. And then Segel und Motor Boat Club, Uberlinger.
Very good.
But and then the Royal Danish Yacht Club, Wassersport Bahrain.
Himmelingen.
Yes, the guys from Bremen.
Yeah, very.
Right? Then the Finnish from Hollandska Segelselskapet.
Yeah.
And Norddeutsche Regatta Verein, who is actually recovering.
And they're slowly recovering. And I can tell you, look at, there are 10 points between 10 and first.
Yes.
And even the NRV, they still have the chance to qualify for the final. If they had a bad day, definitely today.
Yes.
But if they continue performing like they usually do, there's still an option to get back. But it's open. Look at how many.
And look how much difference can one flight make.
Yes.
So Club Náutico Arrecife was comfortably, in our opinion, sitting in top place because they had 19 points and like a 6 points leadership over the second one, 4 point leadership over the second one, and now they're there.
And KDY, nobody had the KDY, the Royal Danish Yacht Club, on the radar. And look at the performance: third, second, first, 28 points. It's just 4 points away from the second-ranked club, Regatta Club Oberhof, which is outstanding performance of these guys in these conditions. It's great, and then they have all everything in their hand. If they continue this performance, they have definitely the chance to make it into the final.
Yeah, because they're only 2 points away from the 4th spot. So, very interesting 11th flight opening up. But let's go see. 33 points had the 10th and 34 the 11th.
Yeah.
So.
The Mühlberger Segelclub they just made the qualification back into the first division of the German league. So it's a really talented team. They already was in the first division, then they had to go back to the second. Now they're recovered. They started pretty well, first, third, second, and even today, look at the performance: 4th, 6th, 3rd, 5th. They are not really happy with these results, I'm pretty sure. And then we have the guys from Portugal. I mean, this was even better for them.
They really needed a nice race in this.
Look at this: one win, they would have 31 points, and they're underneath the top 8. So this is
is costly, like we said. Yes, poor thing. And then there's the Bordet Tribord, who just won the race before, and now.
Yeah.
I mean.
That's tough. And KSSS. I don't think that the places 12, 13, 14 finally really can make it into the final. But even this, you never know. It really depends on the performance of the other teams. But everything is open. And again, the Portuguese guys look at 38 points. Without that, they would have been underneath the top 7. So that's tough. But this is showing how close the points are, and that it's over when it's over.
It is. So this is the last race for us. We can just go through the last positions. Again, the Estonian club is in the bottom. We said it already. They don't like the strong winds. But tomorrow is lighter.
Tomorrow is another day, exactly. So will be more races. If you're interested, you can follow the races
from 11 a.m.
Tomorrow morning we'll be back. And even the last races today, you can follow the tracking on sapsailing.com. You're going to see the Champions League there if you're interested.
Or on the Sailing Champions League website, you can watch the tracking and the race unfold with the results. This is what for sure we will be doing, and we will be here again tomorrow from 11 a.m. local time and until the end. Because tomorrow we won't leave you hanging. Because tomorrow we want to know who's the winner.
And tomorrow you have another guy sitting next to you, right? And he's an Italian professional super rock star, I think.
Tomorrow will be an all-Italian team commentating, which won't help the
spelling of the clubs.
Yes, the pronunciation of the clubs. And yes, this live stream is like we said on YouTube, is on Facebook. Please share. The hashtag is Spirit of Club Racing, and this is another beautiful shot of.
So who is with you tomorrow?
Oh, sorry, I didn't say.
No, you didn't say it.
I know. Well, keeping the suspense up. It's Tommaso Chieffi, is one of the most famous tactician and skipper of the country. He's done the America's Cup a few times. Won with Oracle Racing in Auckland. He knows very well this area. He's attended many Maxi Yacht Rolex Cup, Swan Cup, Sardinia Cup. He will tell us for sure more. He's got local knowledge.
Oh,
so
that's good.
It will help us a lot.
It's not this stupid guessing I did, like left or right. You never know. Probably you know exactly what's going on.
But Ollie, don't be hard on yourself, because I think sometimes even the super pro like Tommaso
he doesn't know what to do.
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yes. So thank you for following, and like we said, go to the website and keep on following today's races, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, Oliver, for being with us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Until tomorrow.